and Ohio Realty, Shauna Stump, Snyder, Fuller, and Stroh, Union Street Diner, Ohio University Credit Union, and Wendy's.
Live from Don Edwards Park, we are here for another game of Copperheads baseball against the Licking County Settlers, game number 2 on this young season for the Copperheads. Yesterday, in the afternoon day game, the Copperheads dropped one to the Settlers 3-1 to lose their first game of the season. So today they'll look to take the second game of the series to force a rubber match tomorrow. And head coach Austin Dunphy still looking for his first career win as the head coach of the Copperheads. It's a cloudy night here at the ballpark for the game. Welcome back into the broadcast. Top of the first inning here at Don Edwards Park. Sorry for the technical difficulties leading up to the inning. We are now ready for some baseball here in Newark, Ohio. Starting pitching for the Settlers today will be Griffin Miller out of Milan, Tennessee from Christian Brothers University. Coming off his sophomore season, came in 16 appearances, 7 starts. His first pitch will be taken upstairs by Thomas Cesaro, leadoff batter for the Copperheads tonight for a ball. Cesaro not in the lineup in the opener, but will be playing second base today and leading off, one of the 2 returning players for the Copperheads this season. Miller fires in his second pitch for a called strike to even the count up at 1. Back to Miller's stats, had a 2-6 record with a 9.62 ERA and 29 innings pitched, giving up 34 hits, 41 runs, 31 earned, striking out 35 on the season. Here comes his third pitch of the ballgame, taken inside by Cesaro for a ball to run the count to 2-1. Looking at the Copperheads lineup, Cesaro leads off. Batting second, Hurd. Batting second, playing left field. As here comes a pitch, 2-1. Taken for a strike, 2-2. Batting third behind the dish is Chris Gambert. Batting fourth, cleanup, playing first base, Zion Avery. Batting fifth, DHing, Sebastian Fabic. Sixth is Phil Glasser playing shortstop. Seventh, making his first start of the year, Zach Iverson playing third base. Eighth, and here comes the 2-2 pitch. Cesaro hits a fly ball into right field. Coming in is the right fielder. He will make the catch easily for the first out of the ball game. Austin Moody out there in right field making the catch. And there'll be one away here in the top of the first. Rounding out the order, batting eighth is Reese Trahey playing right field, and rounding out the order is Nasodi playing center field, also making his first start on the year. Now stepping into the box, Jared Hurd for his first at-bat in this one. Here comes a pitch from Miller, taken upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Miller, here comes his 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball taken outside for a ball, 2-0. Hurd out of Newcastle, Indiana. Played yesterday, had a hit in 4 at-bats as well as a walk. As here comes a 2-0 pitch to Hurd. Taken just off the outside part of the plate for a ball, 3-0 to Jared Hurd. Hurd, an Indiana University Kokomo student, coming off his sophomore season. His team went all the way to the RSC Tournament Championship where they suffered a defeat. Here comes a 3-0 pitch. Taking all the way is Hurd for a called strike, 3-1. Three-one pitch from Miller into Hurd. Hurd cuts on and misses that one. That will run the count full to 3-2. So Hurd drawing a full count here in the first at-bat as Miller looks in, gets his sign from the catcher, comes set. At the belt, here comes a 3-2 pitch to Hurd, taken outside for ball 4, and Hurd will draw his second walk on the young season and reach first base.
Well, Hurd did a nice job yesterday, trying to get on base, and, I've got on base 400. So 2 out of 5, and has really been doing well.
Yep, Hurd did draw a walk in the game yesterday as well. And with that, we'll bring in the 3 hitting, doing the catching in tonight's game, Chris Gambert. Gambert had a rough one yesterday, went 0 for 5. As here comes a pitch from Miller. That ball taken in the dirt. Nice job behind the dish blocking that one. And that will run the count to 1-0.
Yeah, Ferranti, we've seen 2 different catchers. Yesterday we saw Noah's. Today we're seeing Ferranti for the Licking County Settlers. So, they're trying everybody out early in the season. Want to see who's going to stick at what position.
1-0 pitch from Miller fired, taken up and in for a ball, leaning back a little bit there was Gambert. He is heading the count now 2-0. Miller comes set. Hurd with a 2-step lead off first base. And here comes a 2-0 pitch to Gambert. Gambert tries to hold up but could not check his swing, and that will be a strike for a 2-1 count.
And the one thing that we saw from Gambert yesterday, he likes to swing the bat. He's not going to try and take a pitch a little over-aggressive there on a ball, but, he put the ball in play all 5 times yesterday.
Gambert very aggressive yesterday. Here comes a 2-1. A breaking ball will be taken on the outside part of the plate. Gambert not sure he liked that one, but that will run the count to 2-2. But Gambert lined out 4 times yesterday, 2 times to right field, 1 time to the second baseman, and 1 time to left field. So definitely saw the ball well, just couldn't find a hole out there. 2-2 pickoff attempt from Miller. Just keeping Hurd honest there back at first base. Now Miller looks back in. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball taken just off the inside part of a plate for a ball, and now we have back-to-back full counts here in the top of the first inning. So another full count, 1 away here in the top of the first inning. Another pickoff attempt by Miller, keeping Hurd honest over there at first base. He dives back safely, no tag. Now Miller back on the rubber. Comes set. Here comes a full count pitch. Gambert cuts on it and misses for the second out of the inning. Miller went upstairs with that one and got Gambert to chase it for the strikeout. His first of the outing. There are 2 away now.
Yeah, high strike there from Miller. Just was able to get Gambert swinging. And Gambert really did take a hefty cut right there.
So that'll be Gambert's first strikeout on the season for the Copperheads. And now stepping into the box is Zion Avery batting cleanup here today. Avery had 4 at-bats in the ball game yesterday, drawing 1 walk, striking out once, and also stole a bag. Never came around to score. As here comes the first pitch to Avery. Avery with a big swing at that one, but swung right through the fastball 0-1. Avery, one of the 4 ball players from Ohio University on this roster from Indianapolis, Indiana. Getting the start at first base for the first 2 games. He takes that pitch up and outside for a ball, 1-1.
I was watching Avery during the spring season over at Ohio, and, he didn't get a whole lot of playing time, of course, playing behind Rudy Rote, the 2-time MAC Player of the Year.
As that pitch took something off that one, call for a strike, 1-2.
But, and then Rote just got drafted, I believe, in the 9th round. I might be mistaken there, but, now Avery's going to get a lot more playing time.
That's right, to the 9th round of the Philadelphia Phillies yesterday. Congrats to Rudy Rote. Here comes a pitch high and inside for a ball. Now run the count to 2-2. Avery playing in 25 ball games this past year. Only a 192 average, 10 hits on the season. Had 1 homer, 4 RBI, strike out 12 times. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Jared Hurd leading off first base. He's going to go. Pitch outside, swung on and missed for strike 3. Hurd was going on the pitch, but to no avail as Avery swings through the breaking ball for the second strikeout for Miller in the first inning, and that will take us to the bottom of the first inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left on for the Copperheads. You're listening to Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, brought to you by Ohio Health. Welcome back here to the bottom of the first inning. Copperheads goes scoreless in their half of the first inning, and with that we'll run through the Settlers lineup for tonight's matchup. Kasimir Sabazic playing shortstop, leading off. Austin Moody playing right field, batting second. Darius Diaz DHing, batting third. Batting cleanup, playing first base is Steven Kraus. Batting fifth, playing third base. Second straight start there, Evan Fromwiller. Behind the dish, batting sixth is Phil Ferranti. Batting seventh, playing second base, Nate Meyer. Batting eighth and playing left field, Jared Folks. And rounding out the order, batting ninth is Alec Taylor, playing center field. Starting pitching for the Copperheads in this one will be Jake Hansen, his first start of the season from Owensboro, Kentucky. Goes to Olney Central College. Coming off his freshman year, had 8 appearances, 3 games started, an 0-2 record, 12 innings pitched, 15 hits, 10 earned runs, 14 strikeouts with a 7.5 ERA. So he'll look to get that down a little bit over this summer, but getting the nod here in the second game of the year. As leading off will be Kasimir Sabazic. Did not start in the game yesterday. Sabazic out of Rochester, New York. Goes to Monroe Community College. And here comes the first pitch from Hansen, taken for a recalled strike.
You know, right before the break, we were talking about people who were drafted. Well, the Copperheads' very own Blaine Krim was just drafted today in the 19th round, 565th overall.
A 1 pitch hit into left field between the second base and between the shortstop and third baseman, for a base hit. So Sabazic, in his first at-bat of the season, will pick up his first base hit. And the Settlers have a runner on first with nobody down here in the bottom of the first inning, but obviously Blaine Krim, a big part of that championship run that the Coppers had just a year ago.
Absolutely, and it's a great honor to have him drafted, and, you know, just adds to the list. I believe it's now at 49 players drafted from the Southern Ohio Copperheads.
Yep, 49 is right, just under 50 Copperheads draftees. And here comes the second hitter, Austin Moody. He'll swing on the first pitch, hit it basically the exact same spot as Sabazic just did, into left field for a base hit. So back-to-back knocks here for the Settlers to open up the ball game, and they're threatening early on in this one.
Yeah, it's not a very good first 2 batters to welcome in Jake Hansen so far, but you know, Hansen, now we'll see what he's made of. Can he settle down and be able to get the next 3?
Of course, Moody had a base hit in the ball game yesterday as well, so making that his second hit on the season. And with that, we'll step in the DH, Darius Diaz, one of the 3 catchers on this roster, but just doing the DH duties here today. Diaz squares the bunt on the first pitch, taken up and outside for a ball. Makes it count 1-0. Now Hansen getting his sign. checks the runner at second a couple times. Now he will fire the 1-0. And that pitch will be fouled back down the third base line. Looks to be out of play and unplayable. So that will even up the count at 1.
And for Darius Diaz from Perth Amboy, New Jersey, Kennesaw State University. He's a journalism major. I'm playing baseball here today, though. Kept a bunch of journalism majors out in the stands. But on his bio, I found interesting, it says he enjoys cutting hair, listening to music, and eating.
Very versatile is Darius Diaz at a Kennesaw State, one of the many players on this Settlers roster, as he will call time there, before the 1-1 pitch is delivered from Hansen. Diaz batted .293 this past season, 12 hits, 8 RBIs on the year with a .348 on-base percentage. Again, attending Kennesaw State. Here comes a 1-1 pitch from Hansen. Breaking ball taken upstairs for a ball, 2-1. So not unfamiliar territory for the Copperheads. Yesterday, many jams had to be worked out of. Early on, Jackson Mandel had a runner on second and third, but one away, was able to get out of the inning unscathed. As here comes a 2-1 pitch. Pitch will be fouled back into the screen. Big cut at that one by Diaz, but that will run the count to 2-2.
It might look like a good cut right there, but no damage done against Hansen.
So Hansen looks in. Runners on first and second. Bottom of the first inning here. No score yet. Back-to-back base hits for the Settlers to open up this ball game. Hansen checks the runner at second. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball taken up and outside for a ball that will run the count full. And now catcher Chris Gamber will go out there to talk to his pitcher.
Well, there's not a lot of hole. You got to throw. You can't put them anywhere because you don't want to load the bases. So you just got to tell them you got to pitch around the strike zone. Don't throw it right down the middle. And, just start getting this one strike after one strike, one out after an out, and just get out of the inning and reset for the second.
Yeah, Hansen looking like he's having a little trouble getting a grip on the curveball so far. He's thrown a couple that have just not had the drop that he obviously wants them to. But now Gamber back behind the dish, giving the signal to Hansen. Hansen spins the ball in his right hand, now comes set. Here comes a full count pitch, and it will be fouled back behind the press box by Diaz, and we'll do it all over again, 3-2.
No, pitch looked a little bit to be a little high, a little outside. Not a bad pitch right there, especially if that's going to hit the strike zone for Andrew Bolden, the home plate umpire.
Obviously don't want to load the bases here with nobody out with the cleanup hitter in the on-deck circle. Here comes a 3-2 pitch from Hansen. That pitch will be taken just inside, off the inside part of the plate for ball 4, and now the bases will be loaded in the bottom of the first inning for cleanup hitter Steven Kraus, the first baseman. So after a couple of base hits and a walk, the Settlers find themselves with the bases loaded and nobody down for Steven Kraus out of Wilmington, Ohio. Attends Miami University of Ohio. Just had one at-bat in the game yesterday and walked. It'll take that breaking ball for a strike right over the heart of the plate. Kraus pinch hit in the 7th inning of the game yesterday for his only at-bat and drew a walk.
And then he was pinch hit for Alec Taylor in the inning that allowed the Settlers to score 2.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Another breaking ball taken again for a strike. So Hansen right away up in the count 0-2 on Kraus.
Well, obviously, it's the best position you want to be in right now, up 0-2. The only thing better would have been a pop-up to the infield. But now Hansen, good position right here.
So infield at normal depth, even with the bases loaded. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Here's a chopper to third, fielded by Iverson. Thrown on, they get the force at home. Kraus will be safe at first, but they save the run there. So a nice heads-up play there from the third baseman, Zach Iverson, to get the lead runner, and no runs will score, one away with the bases remaining loaded.
Yeah, really nice play from Iverson, realizing the situation, got the ball quickly to home plate for Gambert, and then Gambert got a little slid into right there, but, he's a tough guy. He's doing all right.
So now one away here in the top, or the bottom of the first inning, for Evan Fromwiller, who had a couple of base knocks in the opener, 2 for 4. Here comes a pitch taken for a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Fromwiller did pick up one of the 3 RBIs for the Settlers in the game yesterday as he checks his swing there, blocked in the dirt by Gambert. Umpire says he goes around, so that'll be 0-2. So now Hansen up 0-2 in the count. Bases still loaded here in the bottom of the first inning. No score yet. As here comes the 0-2 pitch from Hansen. Swung on and missed. He got a big strikeout there. And now there'll be 2 away with the bases remaining loaded.
Well, I mean, this seems all too familiar of the 4th inning from yesterday's game. You know, there wasn't a pitching change that has happened here, but, you know, Settlers had a pitching change, brought in Bo Foster, and, you know, was able to get out of the inning. Now, Hansen is on his way to doing so.
That's right, the Copperheads had the bases loaded in the top of the 4th inning. Yesterday's the first pitch to the catcher. Phil Ferranti is taken for a called strike on the outside corner, but Copperheads in the top of the 4th yesterday had bases loaded, nobody out, and were unable to push across a run. Now the Settlers are trying to avoid doing the same thing in the bottom of the 1st here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Chopper to Zach Iverson. He will fire on the second for the force out. And Hansen will work his way out of the bases loaded, nobody out jam. So the Settlers leave 3 on base, unable to capitalize on having the bases loaded. They picked up 2 base hits and a walk to load the bases, and a fielder's choice, a strikeout, and another fielder's choice gets the Copperheads out of the early jam. So we'll head in the top of the 2nd inning. You are listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Back here at Don Edwards Park for the top of the 2nd inning. Still no score here as the Settlers loaded the bases in the bottom of the 1st, but were unable to get a run across with the bases loaded, nobody out. And leading off here in this inning will be Sebastian Fabic, DHing today after playing right field in the game yesterday. As Griffin Miller's first pitch to Fabic will be taken upstairs for a ball, 1-0.
Well, Fabic really did a nice job. Went 1 for 2, had 2 walks, scored the only run for the Copperheads. So not surprised to see Fabic kind of raised up a little bit here in the order.
Comes a 1-0 from Miller. Fabic will chop one foul down the third base line towards the coaching box. They even up the count at 1. Now Fabic, one of the other Ohio University players on this team, batting .202 this past season with 38 hits, 5 doubles, 3 homers, 25 RBIs. Had a .279 on-base percentage for the Bobcats. And here comes the 1-1 pitch to Fabic. Chops another one. This one will be in play to the shortstop. Fires on the first, not in time to get Fabic. That should be an infield base hit for him as he beat the throw out. And the Copperheads will have their leadoff man on here in the top of the second.
Well, like we said yesterday, if the ball goes to shortstop deep in the hole, Fabic has a great chance at beating it out. So Fabic, if you saw him during the spring, he was tremendous out in the outfield, covered a lot of ground, used his speed, and he just used his speed there to get the infield single.
Yep, Sabazic fielded it cleanly, but just did not have enough time on the high hop. So Fabic will have his second single on the year, and with that, we'll bring in Phil Glasser, the shortstop. Glasser had the only RBI for the Copperheads in the ballgame yesterday. Here comes the first pitch from Miller. Glasser will square to bunt. It goes back to the mound. He will just throw on to first to retire Glasser. Fabic moves up to second base now with just one away. Nice sacrifice there from Phil Glasser.
Yeah, situation called for it. Copperheads are trying to score runs any way they can, as they didn't score a whole lot yesterday. Had some opportunities, but it's a good, smart baseball move here.
Yup, executed it perfectly. Had to get the pitcher off the mound. No chance to get Fabic running the second. So one away now with a runner on second, and in comes the third baseman, Zach Iverson. Iverson did not start in the ball game yesterday, playing third base over Ben Rushing in today's game, and Iverson will take the pitch low and away for a ball.
Iverson, one of the, I believe we have 4 guys from Michigan State here on the roster.
Yep, definitely a lot of Spartans on this Copperheads team this summer. He'll take that pitch outside for a ball. That'll be ahead in the count 2-0. Yep, Iverson from Charlotte, North Carolina, goes to Michigan State. Played in 47 games this past year, batting .180 with 24 hits on the season, 15 RBIs, .281 on base percentage. Also appeared pitching for the Spartans. As he'll check the runner second. Big cut there from Iverson, but he swings through it 2-1.
Iverson did have 1 home run at Michigan State. Does have the power swing.
But yes, also did appear in 6 games pitching with a 4.26 ERA in 6 1/3 innings, striking out 7. So 2-1 pitch, 1 out. Fabic on second, lines that one deep down the left field line, but it will hook foul, and we will even up the count at 2-2. Top of the second here at Don Edwards Park. No score yet. Fabic had an infield base hit to lead off the inning, then was bunted over by Phil Glasser. So 1 away here. Here comes a 2-2 pitch to Zach Iverson, and he will take that pitch outside a breaking ball for a ball. Now a run the count full. Now already the 3rd full count that the Copperheads have worked against Miller in just the second inning of this one.
The Copperheads did do a nice job seeing a lot of the Settlers' pitchers yesterday, as 4 pitchers took the mound.
Here comes a full count pitch from Miller. Breaking ball taken inside and low for a ball, so he will walk Iverson, and now they'll be running on first and second with just 1 away, so I guess that does set up the opportunity for a double play. But now 2 runners on here in the top of the second. And with that, we'll bring in the right fielder, Reese Trahey. Trahey also making his first start on the season. Another Michigan State Spartan from West Bloomfield, Michigan, coming off his freshman year with the Spartans. Trahey played in 36 games, batting .159, 11 hits, 2 doubles, 6 RBIs. Had a .370 on-base percentage. Little fun fact about Trahey, his father played 2 seasons in the Toronto minor league system. So baseball runs in the Trahey family. First pitch to Trahey will be taken low and outside for a ball, 1-0. Trahey, one of the 4 players who did not start in the game yesterday in the lineup in this one for the Copperheads. So Austin Dunphy figuring out early in this season where all the pieces are going to go for this roster this summer. Here comes a 1-0 pitch taken way outside for a ball, 2-0.
Just did not get the grip for the curveball there, and as you saw, it went wide.
Yeah, not very tempting to swing at that one. Trahey now finds himself up in the count 2-0. Runners on first and second. One away here in the top of the second inning. No score so far between the Copperheads and the Settlers. Settlers knocked off the Copperheads 3-1 yesterday in the season opener. As Miller will fire the 2-0 pitch in there, and Trahey will line it foul down the third baseline to make the count 2-1. So Griffin already back on the rubber, gets his sign. Trahey steps back into the left side of the batter's box. Griffin gets his sign, comes set. Here comes a 2-1 pitch from Griffin. Trahey will pop that one up into left field. Ranging over is a left fielder, Folks. He will easily make the catch, and there will be 2 away now in the top of the second inning.
Well, definitely not what the Copperheads wanted right there from Trahey, but you know what? Still early in the game.
And with that will be the 9th hitter playing center field today, Lucas Nasonti from Youngtown State out of Warren, Ohio, coming off his sophomore season with the Penguins. Nasonti also starting in his first game on the year. Has a chance with ducks on the pond here in his first at-bat of the season. 2 away now, runners on first and second. Here comes a pitch to Nasonti from Miller. And Nasonti will cut on and miss at that one, 0-1. Now Nasonti batting .245 for Youngstown State this past year. 47 hits, 8 doubles, 12 RBIs with a .315 on-base percentage. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Griffin Miller, and it'll be taken up and inside for a ball to even up the count at 1.
And Asante, Horizon League all-freshman team. So he did fairly well, about .245, .315 on base percentage. Scored 30 runs.
Not a shabby season from the sophomore out of Warren, Ohio. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball bends into the strike zone there to run the count to 1-2 with 2 away here in the top of the second. Inning started with its infield single from Sebastian Fabic. He was then bunted over by Glasser. Zach Iverson walked to get the runners on, followed by a fly ball to left field from Trahey. Here comes a 1-2 pitch, and Asante hits a chopper to the shortstop, Sebastian. He will fire it on to first. The ball bounces, and it's not in time. Nasonti was hustling it down the line. Sebastian charged the ball, but the ball bounced in the dirt, and Nasonti was able to beat it out. We'll see how they score that one. I would think it would be an infield single, though.
Yeah, I didn't see an error anywhere on there. You know, fielded cleanly, throw to first. You know, throw just didn't get there in time, and you know, Nasonti running hard, like he said, and gets the infield single from it.
So Nasonti will have his first base hit on the year on an infield single. So he's now batting 1,000 for the Copperheads. After one at-bat, and the bases will be loaded now with 2 away. Back to the top of the order, Thomas Cesaro. Coming in, here comes the first pitch to him, and that ball will run in and hit him, and that will plate a run. So it's a painful first RBI of the season for Thomas Cesaro, but he'll take it, and the Copperheads will hold a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second.
Well, you got to get the score. You got to get the runners in any way you can, and you know, if it takes getting hit by a pitch, so be it. Scores a run, puts Copperheads on top.
Yeah, it looked like a breaking ball that didn't break there from Miller, and it runs in and gets Cesaro, so he takes the trot down to first. So the bases will still be loaded with 2 away here for Jared Hurd, the left fielder. As he swings on the first pitch, he loops it over the third baseman, but it is just foul down the left field line. Thought Hurd might have snuck that one in the line there, but bends just at the last second, and it'll be an 0-1 count.
Yeah, just a little bit foul. Just a little bit late on it, going the opposite way. But still getting his timing down.
So Hurd, he walked back in the first inning in his first plate appearance. Hurd had his first base hit in the game yesterday, also walked. Another batter comes a 1-0-1 pitch from Miller. Will be taken low for a ball to even up the count at 1. Bases are loaded for the Copperheads, 2 away here in the top of the second inning, 1-0. First run just came across when Thomas Cesaro got plunked by a pitch And here comes a 1-1 to Hurd. It'll be taken low for a ball, 2-1. Zach Iverson's on third base. Nasanti on second, and Thomas Cesaro, on first base. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Hurd, taken up and outside for a ball. So now Hurd is up in the count 3-1. He's going to be looking for a pitch to drive here. Trying to extend and put a crooked number for the Copperheads up this inning.
Well, he's in the driver's seat right now. Bases loaded, and Jared Hurd just looking to get his first RBI of the season.
Miller nowhere to put the runner. Here comes a 3-1 pitch, 2 away. Will be taken outside for ball 4. He will walk in the second run of the inning. So the Copperheads will have their second run of this inning without picking up a hit to drive them in. And now the base will remain loaded for Chris Gambert with 2 away here in the top of the second.
Well, just good eyes from Jared Hurd. Didn't swing at anything outside of the strike zone and was able to get the run in.
Hurd staying within himself. That's his second walk drawn on the season so far. This one he'll get an RBI for. And now comes a 3-hitter. Catcher Chris Gambert. He will offer at the first pitch. Unable to keep the hands back, 0-1. Gambert struck out swinging on a full count pitch back in inning number 1. As here comes a pitch, Gambert hacks on it and just gets a piece of it, fouls it behind the catcher. And Gambert finds himself behind in the count, 0-2. Gambert looking to pick up his first hit of the season after going 0 for 5 yesterday. And striking out his first at-bat today. Bases loaded for the 3-hitter. And Miller not liking the pitch that Ferranti gave him. He steps off the rubber and will reset the 0-2 pitch. Bases loaded for the Copperheads. Top of the second inning here at Don Edwards Park. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Gambert will get a called strike 3. So the Copperheads will leave 3 on base, but they do score 2 runs after a hit by pitch and a walk with the bases loaded. But the Copperheads will leave them full. We're going to head into the bottom of the second inning. Copperheads 2, Settlers nothing. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Heading in the bottom of the second inning here. Copperheads lead it over the Settlers 2-0 after pushing across 2 runs in the top of the second inning. Settlers left them loaded in the bottom of the first inning. First 2 guys reaching on base hits and then a walk, followed by a fielder's choice, a strikeout, another fielder's choice. So Hanson was able to work his way out of a jam in the first inning as the first pitch to Nate Meyer, the second baseman, will be fouled off down the third base line, 0-1. Meyer not starting in the game yesterday. So here comes the 0-1 pitch from Hanson. Will be outside for a ball, mishandled by Gambert behind the plate to even up the count at 1. Now Meyer from Dublin, Ohio, goes to the University of Cincinnati. Just finished up his sophomore season. Here comes a 1-1 pitch from Hansen, taken inside for a ball, 2-1. Very limited appearances for Meyer this past season out in Cincinnati. Had a 120 average, 3 hits, a double, 2 RBIs. In just 22 games played, he takes a healthy hack at that one. But he will miss it, and that will even up the count at 2. So now here comes a 2-2 pitch to Meyer. Will be taken low and outside for a ball, 3-2. To the first batter here in the bottom of the second inning for the Settlers.
Well, if one thing can be said, a lot of pitches have been thrown between the two starting pitchers, Hansen and Miller.
Payoff pitch in the dirt, and Meyer just gets a piece of it back behind the plate. So we'll do it over again at 3-2.
Kind of in a stark contrast to the quick pace of play we saw in yesterday's game.
Yep, game just over 2.5 hours yesterday. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Will be taken low for ball 4. So yet again in back-to-back innings, the Settlers have the leadoff man on. After Nate Meyer draws the walk, and that will bring up Jared Folks, the left fielder, batting 8th in this one. Folks from Cordova, Tennessee, goes to Southwest Tennessee Community College. Just finished up his sophomore season with them. As there comes a pitch to Folks, he swings first ball and fouls it towards the third base dugout. 0-1. So quick on the rubber, Hansen. Folks will square to bunt and foul it up over the screen. Looking like a sacrifice attempt there, but unable to get it down, and the count will be 0-2. So the 0-2 pitch to the left fielder, Folks. Hansen kicks and fires. Breaking ball taken just inside for a ball, and that will make the count 1-2.
I don't think that's where Hansen kind of wanted that pitch. He might have wanted to bounce it in the dirt, just left it a little bit high.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch for Folks. Runner goes, line drive, caught by the shortstop. And now in a rundown was the runner going. He will flip it over to Zion Avery on first base, and that will be a double play. Nice play there from Phil Glasser, and there are 2 away in the inning.
Well, I mean, that's one way to get yourself out of the little funk. Get a nice double, tailor-made double play. You had Meyer on the move, trying to do a hit and run, but a line drive right out of Copperhead to complete the double play.
And here comes a 9-hitter. Alec Taylor had 1 at-bat in the game yesterday in the 8th inning as he fouled the first pitch from Hansen off. 0-1. But Folks hit that one right on the button, right at the shortstop. And now Taylor will drive that one into left field, looking like he has a beat on it. Is the left fielder hurt? He will back up to make the catch, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So the Copperheads, after the leadoff walk, get a double play on a line out to the shortstop, who fired on the first to get the double play when the runner was stealing. And then a fly ball from Alec Taylor caught by Jared Hurd for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Copperheads will head into the top of the 3rd inning, leading the Settlers 2-0 here at Don Edwards Park in Game 2 of this series. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Top of the third inning here at Don Edwards Park. Copperheads hold a 2-0 lead over the Settlers after scoring 2 runs back just an inning ago in the top of the second after loading the bases and picking up. Cesaro got hit by a pitch to bring in the first run. Then Jared Hurd drew a walk with the bases loaded to bring in the second run. So now Zion Avery, the cleanup hitter today, playing first base, will step in. He struck out his first time up. Avery still looking for his first base knock on the season after going 0 for 4 in the ball game yesterday. Griffin Miller still in the ball game for the Settlers. He deals it, and that ball will hit Avery in the back. Another breaking ball that just didn't break enough. And yet again, the leadoff man will be on for the Copperheads in this inning.
Well, Avery was smiling as he went down to first. I guess a little heckling from the bullpen. Wasn't really that bad of a hit by pitch, all things considered. A curveball that just kind of plunks you on the back. Not the worst spot to get hit.
Yeah, Avery tried to duck it, you saw, but it still ended up hitting him in the back, and he will take the trot down to first. And with that will be Sebastian Fabic, who started off the last inning with an infield single to the shortstop, then eventually came around to score when Cesaro was hit by the pitch. As a quick mound visit from Ferranti to try to calm down Miller after hitting his second batter of the game. So now Miller, towing the rubber, comes set. Avery with a 2-step lead over at first base. Here comes a pitch to Fabic. Will be taken outside for a ball, 1-0. Now Fabic picked up his second hit on the young season, his last time up, as he's reached base in all but one of his at-bats so far on the young season. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Miller, taken inside for a ball, 2-0. So 2-0 count here in the top of the third inning. 2-0 Copperheads after a 2-run second inning. Runner on first. Nobody down here in the inning. Miller checks the runner real quick. Now comes set. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Fabic. He swings and fouls it back over the first base dugout. 2-1. As we mentioned earlier, Fabic, one of the 4 Ohio Bobcats on this Copperheads roster. As now Miller will come set. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Avery trying to get a jump on him at first base, but Miller's able to step off and look him back to first base. Avery had a steal very similar to that in the game yesterday, but this time Miller steps off the rubber and gets him back to first.
Yeah, Avery has deceptive speed. But he really got there quick to second base yesterday.
So here comes the 2-1 pitch. Nobody down here in the top of the third inning. That ball will be taken at the letters for a called strike, 2-2. Fabic not so sure about that one. But to no avail, it will be called strike 2.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitch changed from a ball to a strike or a strike to the ball.
Well, yeah, but they're always talking to the umpire after it, aren't they?
Yeah.
So here comes a 2-2 pitch. Nobody down here. Breaking ball taken just inside for ball 3. That will run the count full. Now the 4th full count drawn by the Copperheads early on in this game.
And they are really working Miller here, as Griffin Miller has already thrown over 50 pitches in the game. We are not even through 3.
Here comes a full count pitch to Fabic. He will just get a piece of it and foul it back into the catcher to stay alive. And we'll do the 3-2 pitch all over again.
Did a nice job getting a piece of the bat on the ball. Great pitch from Miller trying to get him to chase. But even better for Sebastian Fabic to just get a piece of that and stay alive.
Yep, pitch down at the knees. Fabic did a good job just to get a piece of it to stay alive. The top of the third inning here at Don Edwards Park. Copperheads hold a 2-0 lead over the Settlers. Zion Avery on first base with nobody down. Here comes a full count pitch. Will be called on the outside corner for strike 3. Fabic not so sure he liked that call, but he will get the backwards K, and there will be one away now in the top of the third.
A call that could have went either way, but close enough that you might want to swing.
Yep, tough pitch to take there with 2 strikes, but he does, and that'll be the 4th strikeout already for Miller. And with that, we'll bring in the left-handed hitting Philip Glasser, the shortstop. Glasser had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. So here comes the first pitch to Glasser, and he will take it on the outside part of the plate for a strike, 0-1. Now Glasser had 2 hits in the ballgame yesterday, drove in the only run for the Copperheads, also stole a bag. And now Avery goes, and that pitch will be fouled over the third base dugout, so Avery will have to trot on back to first base, and Glasser will be down in the count 0-2.
And one of the tendencies we've noticed from Austin Dunphy, he likes to use the hit and run.
Yeah, definitely has employed it a couple times in this first game. The Copperheads also not afraid to go, stealing 3 bags so far. And now it looks like a balk will be called by the home plate umpire on Miller. So Avery will get to go down to second base, and the Copperheads will have a runner in scoring position with just 1 away now in the inning.
I didn't see it specifically, but my guess is he never came set, and then just all one fluid motion, and you have to come set.
Right, looked like he tried a quick pitch Glasser there a little bit. So the count will remain 0-2. Now a runner on second with 1 away in the top of the third inning. Avery leads off second. Here comes the pitch to Glasser. He lines it towards the shortstop, Zabasic. He will fire on to first to retire Glasser at first base. Avery moves up to third, but now 2 away in the inning. And stepping up to the plate will be Zach Iverson. So a nice easy play there for Zabasic after a few infield singles have been hit to him so far in this game, but he finally gets to throw over there in time to record an out. So now Iverson, who drew a walk his last time up and later came around to score when Jared Hurd got walked with the bases loaded. So Iverson will look to pick up his first hit and RBI on the season if he can get one to the outfield here, as that pitch will be taken for a strike. Breaking ball there from Miller, 0-1. So runner on third, Zion Avery. He was hit by a pitch start the inning. Here's a breaking ball from Miller, taken up and outside for a ball 1-1 now to Iverson. One pitch. Miller comes set at the belt. Here it comes, 2 away now in the top of the third inning. Pitch taken low in the dirt for a ball, 2-1. As some of the Copperheads struggled to do in the opener, they didn't get the big hit very often when they had runners in scoring position. Another chance here early on in this one to drive in a run to add on to the already 2-0 lead. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Iverson taken low and outside for a ball, 3-1 now. So Iverson will be looking for his pitch to hit on this one.
And that really was the difference in yesterday's game. Settlers had 6 hits. Copperheads had 6 hits. Just the Settlers had more timely hits.
Right. 3-1 pitch to Iverson. Takes that one on the outside corner for a strike. Not sure Iverson liked that one as he takes a step out of the batter's box. But that will run the count full now with 2 away in the top of the third. So big pitch here for Miller. See if he can work his way out of this inning unscathed. He comes set. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Zach Iverson. He will take it. Strike 3 called. And Miller will work his way out of yet another jam, leaving a runner in scoring position after he hit him to lead off the inning. After he plunks Avery to lead off the inning, he picks up a strikeout, a ground ball, and another strikeout to keep the Copperheads lead at 2 heading into the bottom of the third inning. You are listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Copperheads hold a 2-0 lead here over the Settlers after dropping the season opener to them yesterday, 3-1. As Jake Hansen remains on the mound for the Copperheads, and coming in is the leadoff batter, Kasimir Sabazic. Sabazic had a base hit his first time up. Would eventually get thrown out at home on a force out. So here comes Hansen's pitch to him. Will be taken way outside for a ball. Easy to take that one, 1-0. So after a bit of a shaky first inning, Hansen's been able to settle down as that pitch will be taken for a called strike, 1-1. Hansen loaded the bases to open up the ball game and then retired the next 3 Settlers he faced to get out of the inning. Last inning, 3 up, 3 down. As it looked to make quick work of the Settlers here again, as that ball will be bounced in the dirt. Gambert can't handle it. It'll be a 2-1 count. Sabazic did not play in the ball game yesterday, batting from the left side of the plate, as he will line that one up the middle for a base hit. Coming over to field it is Nasanti. He will fire it back into the infield. But now Sabazic will be 2 for 2 on the day with 2 base hits, and the Settlers, for the 3rd straight inning, have their leadoff man on.
And on Sabazic, I got a text from last year's broadcaster for the Copperheads, Logan the Duke. He says, Sabazic, very solid, great in the field defensively, solid contact hitter. Well, we saw that here today. 2 hits.
Yep,
his 2 at-bats.
Couple of line drive for Sabazic so far. Now the first pitch to Austin Moody will be taken high for a ball, 1-0. Moody also picked up a base hit in his first at-bat of the ball game. As that was Moody's 2nd hit on the season, as he will swing through the fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Moody, another player out of Kennesaw State. From Locust Grove, Georgia, finished up his sophomore season. As 1-1 pitch, Sabazic is stealing, and the pitch will get away from the catcher Gambert. So Sabazic will go sliding in, no problem, and he'll be on second base with nobody away here in the bottom of the third, excuse me.
A good chance or a good opportunity to steal a base. As 0-2 count, ball is probably going to be something off speed, something not really in the strike zone, which would make it more difficult for Gambert to handle.
So now here comes the 1-2 pitch to Moody, and he will swung on and miss, no contact, fire on the first Gambert. Avery will make the catch on the bag, and they will record the out. 1 away now with a runner on second here, and Darius Diaz stepping into the dish. Diaz doing the DHing duties for the Settlers here today. Drew a walk first time up. Did not play in the game yesterday, but has a chance to pick up his first hit and RBI on the season for the Settlers if he can get a ball into the outfield. So Hansen checks Sabazic. And he'll fire the first pitch. Diaz ropes it down the right field line, and that ball will be fair. It bounces off the wall. Sabazic will come around to score. Diaz digging into second base. He will be in with no slide. They almost sneak a tag on him from Glasser, but he will be safe, and it's an RBI double for Darius Diaz, and the Copperheads lead will be cut in half, 2-1.
Well, I mean, that was a smart play from Glasser, paid no attention to, there's a ball coming in here, and then tried to get the tag on the unsuspecting Diaz. But Diaz just had enough to get in there at second base, and that's the first extra base hit of the season for either team.
That's right, all singles in the game. Yesterday, Diaz jumped all over that 2-strike pitch and roped it down the right field line, bouncing right towards that 300-foot sign down there by the foul pole. So it's now 2-1. First pitch in to the 4-hitter Kraus will be a ball, 1-0. But as Connor just mentioned, the first extra base hit for either team so far on the young season. Now Cross will have an opportunity to maybe potentially tie this ball game up if he can get a base hit into the outfield, as that pitch will be taken in the dirt for a ball, 2-0. So one away here in the bottom of the third inning, 2-1. Copperheads over the Settlers. Darius Diaz just drove in a run with a double. So now here comes a 2-0 pitch to Kraus. It will be in the dirt. It will bounce away from Gambert, and Diaz will move up to third base with just one away in the inning. So now a ball driven to the outfield could potentially bring Diaz in.
Yeah, just a pitch that was very tough to handle for Gambert. Thought about trying to get the runner advancing, try to get Diaz at third, but the ball just too far away from him to be able to do so.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of got crossed up a little bit there with the location and was unable to handle Hansen's pitch. So now 3-0 count to Kraus, and he will take that pitch low for a ball. 4-pitch walk for Kraus, and there'll be runners on the corners with one away here in the bottom of the third. With that will come the 5-hitter Evan Fromweiler playing third base. And looks like Austin Dunphy is going to come out to the mound to talk to his pitcher, Hansen, who's been touched up a bit this inning, giving up 2 hits so far and a walk. But there is nobody warming up out there in the Copperheads bullpen, so it looks like Dunphy just trying to relax his hurler out there on the mound.
And the Copperheads do not have a pitching coach, even though it's Austin Dunphy going out to the mounds. You know, Dunphy does know his pitching, had a sub-1 ERA earlier on in his career. So Dunphy knows a thing or two about pitching.
That's right. Dunphy was a pitcher back when he played. He also holds school records at Shawnee State for career wins, strikeouts in a season, and complete games in a season. And the 1 year he pitched for the Copperheads at a .48 ERA. So Coach Dunphy definitely knows what he's talking about when it comes to being on the mound. And here comes a pitch to Fromweiler, and that ball will bounce to the catcher Gambert. He will scoop it up and fire it back to his pitcher, 1-0. Now Fromweiler, of course, 2 for 4 yesterday, had one of the 3 RBIs for the Settlers. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to him. He'll take that one on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1.
And it seems like Hansen is going to be attacking the outside corner of the strike zone, as those 2 pitches, the other one was low, but it was in the far batter's box.
1-1 pitch will be chopped back up the middle to the second baseman. He steps on the bag for one. Back to first. Double play to get out of the inning. So despite giving up the 1 run on the double, Hansen is able to force the double play as Cesaro got the chopper, stepped on the bag himself, and fired on the first for the 4-3 double play. So the Copperheads do give up a run, but they will still have their lead heading into the top of the 4th inning. Copperheads 2, Settlers 1. You are listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network. Coming back here in the top of the 4th inning, we'll throw it over here to Connor Mills to take over the play-by-play duties.
Well, thank you, Joe Medor. And Copperheads lead 2-1 over the Licking County Settlers after they only scored 1 run in yesterday's game. Now they have 2 as they have the lead. New man on the mound for the Licking County Settlers, number 19, Nick Meyer. Meyer's coming in to replace Griffin Miller, who went 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, both were earned, had 3 walks, and struck out 5. For Nick Meyer from Cincinnati, Ohio, attended Otterbein College. At Otterbein, pitched 4 1/3 of an inning, had no ERA, which means he did not give up a run. Batters are batting against him .077. And strikeouts per 9 innings, about 10 per 9 innings. Had 5 strikeouts and 3 walks in just those 4 1/3 of an innings pitched. Reeds Trahey now at the plate for the Copperheads. Trahey flew out to left field back in the top of the 2nd inning as we are here in the top of the 4th. Copperheads 2, Settlers 1. The pitch in from Myers swung on and fouled off towards the left side and out of play. Freeze try from West Bloomfield, Michigan, and Michigan State batted .159 back in the spring. .370 on base percentage, scored 12 runs as he takes a pitch in from Nick Meyer. Low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. Try 6 RBIs, had 2 doubles. Has a pitch in from Myers, a breaking ball that misses low in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Copperhead scoring both their runs in the top of the 2nd inning. Iverson came around to score, and as did Sebastian Fabic, as the pitch misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Fabic led off the inning with a single. Came around to score. Iverson walked, got on base. There was a bases loaded opportunity for the Copperheads. Just could not capitalize as this one is swung on, bounced towards the hole and under the glove of the shortstop Sabazic, and in for a base hit. Reese Trahey gets the base hit, and his first hit on the season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they score that one, as it was hit hard by Trahey. Sabazic had to go to his backhand in the hole, and it just got by him. Couldn't get the glove down to field it. Looks like they're going to give that one a base hit, though, for Trahey.
Yeah, Trahey is on base for the first time in his Copperheads career, as now Lucas Nasanti steps into the plate. He got his first base hit last time up again in the top of the 2nd. And the pitch from Meyer. It's a bunt all the way up the first base line. 1 unassisted for Kraus, as that'll be a sacrifice bunt from Lucas Nasanti. Moves the runner over. And now there's a runner in scoring position here in the top of the 4th inning with 1 out.
Yeah, you see the Copperheads not afraid to play small ball so far in this one. That's their 2nd sack bunt. The last time they used it, the runner came around to score, so looking for similar outcome. And now you got the top of the order coming up with a runner in scoring position and just 1 down, so hopefully you can get him in the score.
So a sack bunt from Lucas Masanti. Moves Trahey over towards 2nd. As that ball is in for a strike. So Trahey's on 2nd base. And at the plate is Thomas Zazzaro. Zazzaro, one of the returners for the Copperheads this season, did not play in yesterday's game, was out in the bullpen. He can pitch a little, but is more well known for his bat. As the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Zazzaro batted .301 and got on base at a clip of .443 at Lee University. He hails from Cottonstown, Tennessee, where he had 36 runs, 25 RBIs, 13 doubles as he swings to this fastball offering from Nick Meyer. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 away here in the top of the 4th inning. Runner on 2nd base for the Southern Ohio Copperheads.
It's a very key part to the team's championship run last year. Excited to see him back for another summer in Southern Ohio.
They had over .350 last year for the Copperheads. as he takes a ball low and away, gets past the catcher Ferranti, and moving over towards third base is Reese Trahey. So Trahey is now 90 feet away from scoring off of either the pass ball or the wild pitch from Nick Meyer. So now the infield will be drawn in, outfield straight away. Tom Cesaro at the plate as he takes that pitch in there for strike three called. So Cesaro, after getting an RBI, his last at-bat was hit by a pitch. We'll go back to the bench, and Jared Hurd steps into the plate now. Hurd batting from the left side. So he'll face Nick Meyer for the first time.
Obviously, Cesaro not very happy with that strike three call. He thought it was inside. Had a couple words with home plate umpire Bolton.
And a swing and a foul ball over towards the left side, ranging over, but just could not make the play, is the third baseman Fromweiler. Fromweiler tried to get all the way over, but the ball just goes into the grandstands towards the left side. Good effort from the Bobcat over at the hot corner. No balls, one strike, 2 outs, runner at third base for the Southern Ohio Copperheads here in the top of the fourth inning. Nick Meyer from the stretch almost hits Jared Hurd as he bends inside and bends away from the pitch. Count evens itself up with 1 ball and 1 strike. Meyer's pitch swung on and missed from Jared Hurd. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now is the count. Reese Try got his first hit of the season. He's now standing on third base. Lucas Nasanti bumped him over from first to second. Try then took third on a pass ball. And now the pitch into Jared Hurd is pop fly over in foul territory. This one does have room for the third baseman Fromweiler as he catches it with one hand to retire the side. Not much going for the Copperheads here in the top of the fourth inning. As no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base for the Copperheads. As we'll return in the bottom of the fourth as you're listening to the Copperheads on the Copperhead Media Network presented by Ohio Health. Bottom of the fourth inning, Copperheads 2, Settlers 1. As Phil Ferranti will step into the plate, right-hand batter will still face Jake Hansen, who's out on the mound here to start the bottom of the fourth as the first pitch is in for a ball. 1-0. So now, Medora, for the past 2 days, the Settlers have only had their starting pitcher go 3 innings apiece as that pitch misses low and away. So not getting a lot of length from their pitching.
Yeah, it seems like they're imploring more of everybody's throwing 2 to 3 innings instead of having a starter try to go 5, 6, 7 innings. That's kind of been their approach so far in the first 2 games.
And the 2-0 pitch misses high and inside. 3-0 from Jake Hansen into Phil Ferranti. But for the Copperheads yesterday, the Dan Iman player of the game, Jackson Mandela, went 6 innings, not allowing a run as a walk is issued to Phil Ferranti to begin things here in the bottom of the 4th. So runner on first, nobody out. Bottom 4, Jake Hansen had 1-1-2-3 inning in this game. That happened 2 innings ago in the 2nd inning. But that was thanks to a double play.
Right, even in that 1-2-3 inning, the leadoff man was still on. Now that's 4 straight innings. So Hansen has gotten used to working with runners on so far in this one.
First pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. Runner on first here in the bottom of the 4th. Phil Ferranti, the man at first for the Licking County Settlers. As Jake Hansen pitching again from the stretch. The pitch misses low and outside in the dirt. And now the catcher, Chris Gambert, will take another stroll out to the mound and have a chat with Jake Hansen. You know, whenever you're working with a new pitcher, working with a new catcher, you know, the battery mates have to get on the same page, and it seems like these two really haven't had the same kind of connection that Mandela had with Combs yesterday.
Yeah, 6 straight balls right now for it's going to be for Hansen. So, obviously, Gambert going out there trying to calm down. But there have been a few occasions on this game where Gambert has kind of gotten crossed up on pitches, not exactly always hitting his spots. And that can happen with all these guys coming together. They don't play with each other all season long, so they got to get used to each other.
And the pitch in is taken on the inside corner for a called strike. Breaks up that 6-ball streak right there for Jake Hansen. But say what you want to say, he's only allowed 1 run through 4. Well, through 3, as we're here in the bottom of the 4th. No outs recorded as a ball misses low and away. 3 balls, 1 strike, runner at first. Copperheads 2, Settlers 1. The 3-1 pitch. Taken in for a called strike. Count runs full. Nate Meyer in his first at-bat walked against Jake Hansen and then was doubled off on the line drive off the bat of Jarrett Folks. This one's a line drive out into left field. That'll fall down for a base hit. And Settlers have 2 runners on base with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Left fielder Jared Hurd throws the ball in to short to Glasser and over to Iverson. And then back to Jake Hansen, who will yet again have to work with at least 2 runners on base in this ball game.
Yeah, it was a nice piece of hitting there by Meyer. Obviously not trying to do too much with that full count pitch. Gets a pitch he likes, drives it just over the shortstop into left field. Definitely not the first time tonight that the Settlers have made solid contact off Hansen. They've been hitting the ball hard.
Around 57 pitches thrown for Jake Hansen. As now standing in is Jarrett Folks. Folks lined into the double play. It was a hard hit ball, but right at the shortstop as he lays down a bunt, goes up the third base line. The only play is to first, and it is made. Jarrett Folks with a sacrifice bunt. That's the first out recorded here in the bottom of the 4th inning, but both runners go into scoring position. There's now 2 on against Jake Hansen, and 2 runners in scoring position. Another smart play from the Settlers, laying down the sac bunt. We're seeing a little bit of small ball between these 2 teams.
But, yeah, that was a great play there by Iverson. It was a pretty darn good bunt there from Folks in a good spot, but Iverson came in charging and fired a strong throw over to first to retire him to get a big first out of the inning.
So now Phil Ferranti's at third, Nate Meyer at second base, and at the plate taking a big swing is Alec Taylor. Taylor flew out to left field his first at-bat. Still in search for his first hit, and should he get a hit, at least 1 run would score. Infield is drawn in for the Copperheads. The pitch in from Jake Hansen's a breaking ball in for a called strike. Count goes to 0-2.
It's a nice change of speeds there by Taylor after the first pitch fastball. Not sure if Taylor was expecting the breaking ball on that one. Now he's way ahead. He can do whatever he wants here with this 0-2 pitch.
0-2 the count. Hansen's pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, from Robert Baylock. Positioned around second base and in front of the shortstop Phil Glasser. Kind of in the middle of the action is Robert Baylock out in the field. Runners on second and third, one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Copperheads 2, Settlers 1. Jake Hansen trying to get out of this inning unscathed. He'll need 2 more outs as the pitch into Alec Taylor is swung on and fouled off towards the left side. A flurry of children go and run and try to get the foul ball.
As always.
As always, somebody's always chasing the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners in scoring position for the Licking County Settlers here at Don Edwards Park. Jake Hansen comes to a rest, and the pitch taking outside for ball 2. A close pitch from Jake Hansen into Chris Gambert, but he's unable to get the strike call, and now the count runs even at 2-2.
You saw Gambert trying to help his pitcher out on that one. He held that one, framed it on the outside corner.
2-2 offering. Swung on and missed, strike 3. A big strikeout from Jake Hansen, who's looking to pull a rabbit out of his hat here after a sacrifice bunt from Jarrett Folks moved runners into scoring position. Alec Taylor strikes out, and now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, nice off-speed pitch there from Hansen. Got Taylor out in front of it for a big strikeout there.
And now it'll be the top of the lineup, and Kasimir Sobazik, the shortstop who has 2 hits on the day, as he took the first pitch for a ball. Sobazik, a perfect batter, as this is his first game. Single in the first, single in the third, as Hansen has his pitch swung on and ground over towards the second baseman, who throws over to first in time, and the side is retired. Kasimir Sobazik is retired for the first time today, as Thomas Cesaro gets the final out in the bottom of the fourth. No damage done in the bottom of the fourth as Copperheads will come to the plate in the top of the fifth. You're listening to the Copperheads on the Copperhead Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Top of the fifth inning between the Southern Ohio Copperheads and the Licking County Settlers. Copperheads able to escape the bottom of the fourth unscathed as they still hold their 2-1 lead. It'll be Chris Gambert, Zion Avery, and Sebastian Fabic at the plate. And remaining on the mound is Nick Meyer as the first pitch missed for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes as the count into Chris Gambert, who's still looking to get his first hit of the day as he drives this one out into left field, but waiting and making the one-hand catch as the left fielder Folks. So another hard hit ball off the bat of Chris Gambert, just unable to find any open space whenever he puts the ball in play.
Yeah, kind of been the theme for him so far. We've seen him hit a lot of hard line drives, solid contact, but unable to find holes out there so far. in the young season.
Well, now Zion Avery will stand in from the right side. As Avery. First pitch in is a breaking ball that hits the outside corner, 0-1. Zion Avery struck out in the top of the first, but then was hit by a pitch in the top of the third. Got as far as third base, but one is unable to come around and score as that ball is bounced in the dirt by Nick Meyer. A good block from the catcher Ferranti. And the count is even at 1 apiece. From the windup, Nick Meyer's pitch is swung on, and this one is looping out into shallow right field and a long way for the first baseman to run. Krause, he can't get it. And standing on first with his first hit is Zion Avery. Avery went 0 for 4 in yesterday's game, finds his first hit of the season here in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, obviously not the hardest hit ball, but Avery will take it for his first base hit of the season. Finds himself on first base yet again. You know, it's always a relief to get that first one out of the way. Then you kind of relax a little bit, settle in, and then the line drives start to come. You start to put a good season together.
And for Avery, he was just smiling getting hit by a pitch on his way to first. So I'm sure he's thrilled to be standing on first with his first single. Now Sebastian Fabik takes first pitch high and away. Ball 1. Fabik had a single in the top of the second, struck out looking in the top of the third as he is 1 for 2 on the day. Fabik now has his batting average at an even .500 as he went 1 for 2 yesterday as the breaking ball misses. 2 balls, no strikes with a runner on first, 1 out here at Don Edwards Park in the top of the 5th inning. Copperheads 2, Settlers 1. Pitching from the stretch is Nick Meyer as he tries to pick off Zion Avery, who goes back standing.
Avery's been a pest so far this season on the base pass. Obviously stole the bag yesterday, attempted to steal earlier in this one.
And the 2-0 pitch misses low, fastball. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's got
Check
the pitchers.
that, 3 balls.
Got the pitchers looking at him over there, at first base.
3 balls, no strikes. Sebastian Fabik takes all the way as Nick Meyer just fires in a fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. From the stretch, Nick Meyer looks in. Now he deals outside, ball 4. So that'll be the first walk issued from Nick Meyer today. Griffin Miller, the starter for the Licking County Settlers, had 3 walks. And now the first walk to Sebastian Fabik from Nick Meyer. So the Copperheads have 2 runners on base yet again. Have left a runner on base in the first, second, third, and fourth. The whole game, the Copperheads have been on the base paths. A lot of opportunities for them to come around and score.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Glasser has the sacrifice on yet again, like in his first at-bat, try to move 2 runners in scoring position.
Well, Glasser's 6 foot. Second baseman, shortstop, infielder. Plays multiple positions. First pitch was in for a strike. As Glasser from Talmadge, Ohio, looks to get a hit. As that one hits the strike zone as well. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 runners on here in the top of the 5th. Bobcats are on the base paths. Zion Avery and Sebastian Fabik. Philip Glasser from Youngtown State at the plate. Swings and fouls it back over the press box. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Of course, Glasser, the only guy on the roster with an RBI so far this season. See if he can poke another one into the outfield and add on to that total.
Jared Hurd has an RBI with a walk, and Thomas Zazzaro had a hit by pitch RBI as that one is fouled off. Count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. But Glasser did have the RBI in yesterday's game. Went 2 for 4. Struck out once and did have that RBI. Glasser today had a sacrifice bunt, grounded out towards short as he swings and fouls it off towards the left side, making Nick Meyer throw his pitches as the count still remains at a ball and a strike and 2 strikes. Zion Avery had his first hit of the season as he's on second as that one is swung on and missed for strike 3. Philip Glasser goes down swinging. Second strikeout on the season for Glasser. And the second strikeout on the day for Nick Meyer. And with that, that brings up Zach Iverson to the plate. Iverson walked, scored a run in the top of the second, and also struck out looking in the top of the third. First pitch into Philip Glasser, misses low and away for ball 1. Zach Iverson. Inning started with Chris Gambert, who flew out to left field. Is now a pickoff attempt at second base. Daylight wheel throw, however you want to call that play. A spinning throw on the mound from Nick Meyer does not get the alert. Zion Avery, as now all that excitement results in nothing. And now the pitch into Zach Iverson is swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike to Zach Iverson. So Zion Avery, he's at second base. Sebastian Fabic at first. Avery with a hit. Fabic with a walk. Glasser struck out. And now Zach Iverson at the plate. 1-1 into Iverson. Misses low and inside. And Iverson from Charlotte, North Carolina and Michigan State. Batted a .180 for Michigan State. Got on base 281. Had 15 RBIs, 14 runs. As the 2-1 is swung on and missed again. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Nick Meyer into Zach Iverson. Iverson making his first start of the season. It's game 2 of the long summer collegiate baseball season. 2-2 count. Runners on first and second base. The pitch is swung on and fouled straight back. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes. Copperheads 2, Settlers 1. Long look in from Nick Meyer. Now he's got it, the throw. This one is poked out into left field, ranging back, backpedaling all the way back around to the warning track is the left fielder Folks, who makes the catch. And that will retire the side. So the Copperheads still have a 2-1 lead as we enter into the bottom half of the inning. As you're listening to the Copperheads on the Copperhead Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Bottom of the 5th inning, Copperheads 2, Settlers 1, as the Copperheads are looking to pick up their first win of the season after dropping the season opener to the Licking County Settlers by a score of 3-1. As the first pitch into Austin Moody, the right fielder, is in a called strike. Jake Hansen only allowing the 1 run to score in the bottom of the 3rd inning as another breaking ball. This one misses high and inside. Evens the count at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yesterday, 2 runs scored in the bottom of the 8th for Licking County Settlers. That one is fouled off. 1-2. Collins Sells giving up the 2 runs in yesterday's game. But after that, Sells did a nice job. Just a little trouble in the bottom of the 8th. And the 1-2 is taken high and away for ball 2. Austin Moody today. Moody had a single in the bottom of the 1st and struck out in the bottom of the 3rd. Time called by the catcher, Chris Gambert, as Jake Hansen looking to give the Copperheads a little bit of length. As mentioned before, the Settlers not having length from their starting pitching, as the 2-2 is taken low in the dirt. 3-2 the count, with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Also, Settlers a little deeper in their pitching staff right now than the Copperheads are. Copperheads are a little thin when it comes to pitchers. They're definitely looking for their starters to run a
Payoff
decent amount of
pitch
innings.
is swung on and lifted out into deep center field, still ranging back out into the Don Edwards Park sign, and making the catch is the center fielder Nasanti. So not to cut you off, Joey, but yeah, you're right. The Copperheads are still trying to recruit and get some more live arms in the bullpen.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely a little thin. I mean, we've heard Coach Dunphy talk about multiple times how they had about 8 or 9 guys back out within the last 2 weeks due to, injuries, or they threw too many innings in the spring, so they're kind of shut down for the summer or whatever. But they are definitely looking to deepen that pitching staff any way they can right now.
First pitch into Darius Diaz. Diaz, who has the only RBI for the Settlers today. Diaz walked in the first, had a double, the first extra base hit of either team's season, as he swings and lifts this one up into right center field between the center fielder and the right fielder, and it will be the center fielder Nasanti to make the one-hand grab for the second out in the bottom of the 5th inning, with the Copperheads leading 2-1. So Darius Diaz is retired for the first time today, and now there are 2 outs.
Yeah, unlike his last time up, Diaz kind of got under that one a little bit more than he did last time. He roped one that one-hopped the wall. He jumped all over at that time. Hansen was able to get him to get under the ball a little bit, let his center fielder Nasanti range over and make the easy catch.
Pitch count at 73 right now for Jake Hansen, as the first pitch, then pitch number 74 is in for a called strike into Stephen Kraus. For Kraus, ground into a fielder's choice in the first, as he watches the first one go by for a ball, and then walked in the 3rd inning. Press box has just become illuminated, as now it's a little bit easier to see, as the 1-1 ground ball up the middle past the shortstop Glasser and into center field for a base hit. So Stephen Kraus picks up a hit. And now there's a runner on first with 2 away in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And still not an inning for Hansen out there on the mound where there has not been a base runner. He's been working from the stretch a lot so far, and this one just unable to seem to work that 1-2-3 inning. Seemed like he came close on that one after the 2 fly balls, but you see Kraus just picking up the base hit.
And now Fromweiler, the Bobcat, 0 for 2 today as he takes first pitch high and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. So Kraus, who's standing at first base right now, picked up his first hit of the season after going 0 for 2 today and did not have a plate appearance yesterday, just had a walk. 2 balls and no strikes is the count into Evan Fromweiler. Fromweiler having 2 hits yesterday. Bounces this one over towards third by the line. Third baseman has it, throws high to first, does not get it. Fans going crazy as now. Runners will advance to second and third. So Evan Fromweiler bounces a ball over towards the third base line. Iverson threw high to the first baseman, Zion Avery. Avery able to recover the ball in time to not allow a run to score, but now there are 2 runners in scoring position here in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 outs.
Yeah, and Iverson's going to get dubbed with the error on that one. Now, that would have been a pretty impressive play. Had to take a long throw as he was deep in the hole over there at third base, but just sailed the throw. And now Hanson's going to have to make a couple good pitches here to get out of this inning unscathed.
Score still at 2-1 for the Southern Ohio Copperheads as the pitch misses for a ball into Phil Ferranti. Ferranti looking to get his first hit of the season. Reached base twice today at a fielder's choice. Only reached base once. Grounded into a fielder's choice to end the top of the first as a breaking ball misses low and away. And Phil Ferranti had a walk in the 4th. Reached third base but did not score in the treacherous 4th inning for Jake Hansen, but did not let up a run. Bottom of the 5th, runners in scoring position as a pitch misses outside. 3 straight balls from Jake Hansen into Phil Ferranti. And now a pitch away from loading the bases for the Licking County Settlers here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
It'll be interesting to see if Ferranti has the green light here on this 3-0 pitch. You assume he's probably going to get something around the plate.
The 3-0 swinging now, lining this one into center field. Coming on as a center fielder, Nasanti, and he makes a catch. Diving right in front of him, Nasanti is able to end the inning and end the threat in the bottom of the 5th. What a play from Nasanti, as now the score still remains 2-1. Southern Ohio Copperheads, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on base. We'll be right back in the top of the 6th inning as you're listening to the Copperheads on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. It's the top of the 6th inning. Copperheads 2, Settlers 1. New man on the mound for the Licking County Settlers, Dawson Sims. Sims comes in to replace Nick Meyer, who went 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. as the first pitch for Sims gets away from the catcher, Ferranti, and low for ball one. So Meyer came in, settled down a little bit, and was able to get the Copperheads, even though they've been on the base paths in every inning so far in this game. And this one is hit and bounces over the third baseman from Weiler to go in for a base hit. A hot shot off the bat from Reese Trahey. And Trahey's on the base paths for the second time today. His second hit of the season.
Trey's got a couple of base hits the other way now, using all parts of the field. His last time up, snuck one by the shortstop, this time the third baseman. And now he's 2 for 3 in his season debut.
So Dawson Sims sees one batter, gives up a hit. And now Lucas Nasanti, who made a fantastic play out in center field, will stand in from the right side, seeds a big curveball from Sims for strike one. No balls and one strike with a runner on first base here in the top of the sixth inning. As this pitch gets away from the catcher Ferranti, this time it was low and away, and advancing to second base is Reese Trahey. So Trahey got on with a single, a hot shot off the bat that went over the third baseman, and now is on second base with a passed ball from Ferranti. Count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. Dawson Sims will be a junior coming this fall, 6'4", 215 pounds from Carson Newman College. As a swing and a miss from Lucas Nasanti brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sims didn't have a win or a loss at a 3.86 ERA for Carson Newman in 9 1/3 innings pitched, appeared in 10 games, all in relief appearances. Held batters to a .237 batting average as a long stare in, and now he'll just step off. And again, a little miscommunication between the catcher and the pitcher. These are two pitches in this half inning that we've seen get away, and might have been a little bit of a cross-up, as now the 1-2 is swung on and fouled straight back. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody out here on the top of the sixth inning. Runner in scoring position again for the Southern Ohio Copperheads, Reese Trahey, standing on second. Another long look in from Dawson Sims. Sims again coming in relief for Nick Meyer, who went 2 innings, didn't allow a run, allowed 2 hits. And the 1-2 is taken inside. Almost broke in and hit the elbow of Nasanti. There's a curveball. It's got a lot of break, and it was able to break away from Lucas Nasanti.
You see Nasanti standing in there, not flinching at all on that one.
2-2 is a count. Dancing on second base is Reese Trahey, and the ball is grounded over towards second base, fielded cleanly from Meyer and thrown over in time for the first outs. Runner does advance and now is 90 feet away from scoring here in the top of the sixth inning as the Copperheads looks to extend their lead. They do lead 2-1 over Licking County Settlers here at Don Edwards Park. Connor Mills alongside Joey Madore.
Nice piece of hitting there from Nasanti, though. If you're not going to get a base hit with a runner in scoring position, at least be able to move the runner up, and he did that there. Hit the ball to the right side of the field and got him up to third base.
And now infield has been brought in against Thomas Zazzaro. Zazzaro, who batted .350 last year for the Southern Ohio Copperheads, in search for his first hit. Does have his first RBI, however, as he was hit by a pitch in the second inning when the bases were loaded. He was responsible for one of the 2 RBIs already on the board. And the 0-1 is swung on and missed. Quickly, Dawson Sims is ahead on Thomas Zazzaro, 0-2. Zazzaro on the day flew out to right field, had the RBI hit by pitch in the second, and struck out looking on a close pitch back in the fourth. No balls, 2 strikes, runner at third. The pitch is swung on and just fouled off the end of the bat of Zazzaro as he stays alive.
Just fouled off his right, just got that one off the end of the bat to stay alive. Zazzaro, with this infield drawn in, any hard hit ball is going to be tough to knock down, so
And on that swing, Austin Dunphy takes off the helmet, brushes his hair back, has a sigh of relief. Cesaro is still alive at the plate with one out and a runner in scoring position. The 0-2 taken outside for a ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield remains in. Not really moving is Fromweiler at third. Seeing a lot of movement from the shortstop, Sobazic, and the second baseman, Meyer. The only man really on the dirt is the first baseman, Kraus. As a 1-2 is swung on and bounced over towards the left side and foul. Dunphy, the Copperheads' first-year coach in search for his first win, takes the ball and throws it over towards the settler dugout. And now not much movement at all from the infield as they all stand in and stare and wait for their pitcher, Dawson Sims, to get the pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and this one is swung on a missed on a slider outside, getting Thomas Cesaro swinging and chasing out of the zone, as that's a big second out for the Licking County Settlers. Now there are 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning, with the runner still 90 feet away from scoring.
It's a nicely executed pitch there from Sims. Nice little breaking ball that starts off in the zone, then breaks out of the zone, and Cesaro unable to lay off it, now 2 away.
Jared Herb looked to get the job done for the Copperheads as he has this one bounce, hits the lip at first base, but right into the mitt of the first baseman, Kraus, who steps on first himself to retire the side here on the top of the 6th inning. So the Copperheads will leave yet another base runner on base as the end of the top of the 6th is upon us. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. The Settlers will come to the plate in the bottom half of the inning as you're listening to the Copperheads on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Bottom of the 6th inning, new man on the mound for the Copperheads as they still hold on to a 2-1 lead. As Jake Hansen went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And now Nick Kaiser will be the man on the mound.
Yeah, Hansen obviously getting the job done. 5 innings in line to win this one, only giving up 1 run. Obviously got touched up a little bit, giving up 6 hits and a few walks. He had base runners on in every inning, but time and time again he was able to get the job done and get out of jams. Besides the 1 double that Diaz hit, there really weren't too many balls hit that hard off him. He was able to bear down in the stretch a lot, getting him out of his rhythm, but he was able to bear down in all the situations and hold the lead for the Copperheads.
Hansen did throw a lot of pitches, somewhere in the ballpark of around 80 to 90 today, but he was solid. Yet another starter for the Copperheads, even though Copperheads are short on arms. A lot of pitchers are coming up big. As Nick Kaiser on the mound from Raverna, Ohio, attends Shawnee State. 5'10", 200 pounds, right-hand pitcher, a senior at Shawnee State. Was 2-0. It has 7.33 ERA. 27 innings pitched. Had 14 relief appearances and held batters to a 276 batting average as Nate Meyer now stands in. First pitch to Meyer is swung on and missed for strike 1. Meyer today walked in the 2nd and had a single in the 4th. As second pitch in from Nick Kaiser hits the strike zone for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes into Nate Meyer. As Meyer's been on base both times today. Kaiser's pitch swung on, line to right center field, down for a base hit. Cutting it off is the right fielder Trehe. And the second hit of the day for Nate Meyer as he's the man at first base. So quickly ahead on the count, 0-2. And then Meyer is able to line one the opposite way and get it down for a base hit.
Yeah, just kind of caught too much of the plate there with that 0-2 pitch. Obviously, the batter's looking to protect there, and Kaiser caught too much of the plate with that one, and Meyer dispensed it in the right field for a base hit.
So Kaiser, who was working quickly, will have to slow down his pace a little bit as now Jarrett Folks is in the plate. The right-hand batter takes the ball outside, 1-0. So a runner on first, bottom of the 6th inning. Copperheads leading 2-1 as Folks swings and fouls it back. Even up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Folks today lined into a double play in the second on a nice play from Phil Glasser. As now breaking ball's in for a called strike, but the throw from Gambert gets away from the shortstop Glasser. Stealing the base was Nate Meyer, and then he advanced on the error to third base. So Nate Meyer is now 90 feet away from scoring for the Licking County Settlers.
Yeah, Gambert, not the best throw. Didn't look like Meyer had the greatest jump. Looked like they had a shot at him at second base with a good throw, but Gambert skips that one in, and it gets by the shortstop Glasser into center field, and Meyer's able to get all the way around into third now with nobody down.
Nobody outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Copperheads holding on to a 1-run lead. Cheds 2, Settlers 1, as that breaking ball missed for ball 2. Counted 2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield has been brought in, and the swing and fouled off from Jarrett Folks. So Nick Kaiser trying to work his way out of trouble after Hansen was able to successfully work his way out of trouble through 5 innings of play. The pitch from Kaiser swung on, and it's a fly ball down the right field line. This one slicing foul as it hits the tree, and not really sure if it came down or if it went further than the tree. Field division not great from the corner that we are sitting in. Either way, it's just a long foul ball off the bat of Jarrett Folks, and the count is at 2-2. Kaiser swing and a miss. Gets his first strikeout of the season on Jarrett Folks. And a big out from Kaiser.
A big out is right. Nice elevated fastball there with 2 strikes. Got Folks to go up and out of the zone. You know those guys' eyes light up when they see that high fastball coming in, but he swings under it for the out. 1 away now. Now just got to get a couple more here to keep this 1-run lead that the Copperheads have.
It is a 1-run lead. Cheds 2, Settlers 1. Bottom of the 6th inning, a runner on third base. So there's 1 out recorded in the bottom of the 6th inning. And instead of Alec Taylor, it will be number 2, Turner Hill. Hill had 4 at-bats in yesterday's game, had 2 hits, and scored a run. One of the 3 runs that were scored yesterday as Licking County beat Southern Ohio 3-1. First pitch in from Nick Kaiser is a breaking ball for a called strike. 0-1. So a runner on third base. Infield has been brought in. The infield has been in for the previous 2 at-bats. There's a swing and line ball out into left field, and this one will go down for a base hit. The throw is coming home. It'll be close, but no cigar. Throw down to second base, and that one will be an out. So an out is recorded on this play. A ball out into left field for Jared Hurd. Hurd thought about diving for it, did not, fielded it on a bounce. The throw went to home plate. The tag not in time by Gambert, but he does get up and throw a bullet down to second base, and Glasser was there to tag out Turner Hill, who tried to advance from first to second. So he'll have an RBI single, gets cut down at second, And now Kaspar Sobik will be at the plate. It's a new ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. Copperheads 2, Settlers 2. But the bases are empty with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count into Kaspar Sobik. Sobik today had a base hit in his first 2 at-bats as he checks his swing, but the ball finds a strike zone anyway. 1-2. 2 for 3 on the day for Sobik. And now the 1-2. Taken just a bit high. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Turner Hill, the pinch hitter, comes in and gets the job done as an RBI single gets cut down at second base. And the pitch from Kaiser into Sobozic was just inside for a ball. Count runs full with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Ball game tied at 2 apiece, and this one swung on. A high bouncer over towards second base. He flips it to himself, and not in time. A close play at first. Zazzaro flipped it up to himself as he couldn't handle it on the original transfer. And now there's a runner on first with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a very close play, but the field umpire, Robert Baylock, calls Kaspar Sobozic safe on an infield single as that one is swung on and ball gets away from the catcher Gambert. Taking second base is Kaspar Sobozic and Austin Moody, who swung on that pitch, brings the count to no balls and 1 strike.
By the way, it looked like they scored that ball to second base an error on Cesaro rather than an infield single.
Well, Cesaro will have another chance here. This one hits the lip and bounces into his glove. A clean transfer this time for Cesaro. No damage done, but there was damage done to Nick Kaiser as this ball game is tied. Kaiser comes in relief for Jake Hansen, gives up a run. 1 run on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 left on base for Licking County Settlers in the bottom of the 6th. When we come back in the 7th, Joey Medora will handle it for the rest of the game. Unless it goes into extras, then who knows what will happen. You're listening to the Copperheads on the Copperhead Media Network, presented by Ohio Health.
Back here in a tie ball game now, the top of the 7th inning between the Copperheads and the Settlers. Second game on this young season as the Settlers took the first game from the Copperheads 3-1 yesterday. And another tightly contested game here in game 2 of the year. Heart of the order coming up for the Copperheads, 3, 4, and 5. Chris Gambert, Zion Avery, and Sebastian Fabic. As here comes the first pitch in to Gambert, and he will take it for a ball. Dawson Sims out for his 2nd inning of work for the Settlers. 3rd pitcher after Griffin Miller started, went 3 innings, and Nick Meyer came in, followed by Dawson Sims, who is still on the mound right now. As the 1-0 pitch will be cut on a miss by Gambert. 1-1. Gambert 0 for 3 on the day, and now 0 for 8 on the young season. Struck out twice in the first and second inning, and then lined out to left field his last time up, as here comes a 1-1 pitch from Sims, taken inside and low for a ball. 2-1. But Gambert coming off a solid season of college ball at Bellarmine University, batting .391 with 15 doubles, 16 homers, and 51 RBIs. First team all GLVC selection, as he rips that one foul down the third base line. That will even up the count at 2 down towards the Settlers bullpen.
Whenever he makes contact, the ball just flies off his bat. Hard hit ball after hard hit ball for Chris Gambert. Just hasn't been able to find the hole yet.
Yeah, you can definitely. He has barreled up a few balls so far this season, but as you said, unable to find a hole as he's still hitless. And here comes a 2-2 pitch, breaking ball from Sims outside. That will run the count full 3-2. Gambert led Bellarmine University in homers and slugging percentage this past spring. And here comes a full count pitch, taken, called strike 3. Looked like Gambert was heading over to first base. He didn't like it, but he will strike out for the third time in this one, and the second strikeout from Sims out of the bullpen. So with that, we'll bring up the 4-hitter Zion Avery. Avery picked up his first base hit on the season last time up in the top of the 5th inning with a little blooper into right field. He would be left stranded at second. He is 1 for 2 on the day, struck out back in the first inning and was hit by a pitch in his second at-bat. As Sims gets the sign, he will kick and fire to Avery. Avery, a big hack at that one, but way out in front, and it'll be 0-1.
Avery did get a hold of one back in the spring. Had 1 home run for Ohio University.
Yep, limited action for Avery this year, as you mentioned before. As the 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball that bends in on the outside corner, and Avery finds himself quickly behind the count, 0-2.
Yeah, it's tough for Zion Avery to find that playing time because, the first ever 2-time MAC Player of the Year just happened to be right in front of him.
Up and Rudy wrote, added on to the list of MAC Player of the Years that have been drafted to the MLB draft. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Avery, and he swings and misses for strike 3. A 3-pitch strikeout there for Dawson. Back-to-back strikeouts in this inning, and they are now 2 away here in the top of the 7th.
Well, Dawson Sims definitely coming in and had a game plan in mind on how to handle the Copperheads, and he's executed it perfectly.
Of course, Sims with a solid spring season, posting a 3.86 ERA and 9 1/3 innings pitched. As steps into Sebastian Fabic, he's first ball swinging. He'll line one in between first and second for a base hit into right field. Moody collects it, fires it into the second baseman. And now a 2-out base runner for the Copperheads. Fabic has now reached base safely 3 out of 4 times in this ballgame, collecting his second base hit in the game, his first multi-base hit game on the early season.
Always a good sign when your first multi-hit game comes in the second game of the season, so good things projected for Fabic this year.
Yep, Fabic seeing the ball well here early on as Glasser will foul that one off down towards the first base dugout, 0-1. Glasser is 0 for 2 on the ball game in 3 at-bats. A sac bunt back in the second inning. Then grounded out to short and struck out in his following plate appearances. Went 2 for 4 yesterday with an RBI for the Copperheads. Here comes the 0-1 pitch taken on the outside corner, 0-2 now. As Sims will look to pick up his 3rd strikeout of the inning, 4th on the outing in just his 2nd inning of work. Top of the 7th here at Don Edwards Park. 2-2 ball game between these teams. 2 down. Sebastian Fabic leads off first base. Glasser swings and fouls another one down towards the first base dugout, and will do it again here, 0-2.
As the innings continue to come on by, Copperheads have to be worried about, well, who are you going to pitch? They're still 9 pitchers short of what some other teams have in their reserves. So the Copperheads have to be very careful going into a potential extra inning game.
Right you are. Fabic takes off on the pitch, and Glasser will hit a fly ball not too deep center field. Center fielder Taylor ranges over to make the catch, no problem, for the final out of the inning. So the Copperheads will strand another one. 1 hit, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left on, heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. Copperheads 2, Settlers 2, second game of the year. Heading down into the final stretch, another close game between these two teams. You are listening to Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Here late in this one, bottom of the 7th inning, tie ball game between the Copperheads and the Settlers in Game 2 of this 3-game series to open up the season, as all GLSCO action started yesterday. Heart of the order due up here for the Settlers. Darius Diaz, Stephen Krause, and Evan Fromweiler all due up. And remaining on the mound is Nick Kaiser after giving up 1 run in the bottom of the last inning to even this ball game up. It was 2-1 Copperheads, and then a base hit from Turner Hill tied this ball game up as the first pitch into Diaz is taken outside for a ball, 1-0. Turner Hill was a pinch hitter last inning as the 1-0 pitch taken low for a ball, 2-0, and Hill came in after having 2 hits in the opener yesterday and got the job done with a base hit RBI to tie the ball game up. Copperhead scored 2 back in the top of the 2nd as that pitch will now be taken up and outside for a ball. 3 straight balls here from Kaiser to Darius Diaz. Diaz 1 for 2 on the day, had an RBI double back in the 3rd inning to give the Settlers their first run as he will take a 4-pitch walk now from Kaiser. So leadoff man on for the Settlers here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Second walk drawn by Diaz in the ball game, and he will trot down to first base.
Yeah, Diaz is doing a nice job for the Settlers, just getting on base in his first starts. He's a big bat in the lineup, batting 3rd, designated hitting, had a big spring, highly touted baseball player, and Settlers are pretty happy with what he's done today.
So now Connor Dodge will replace him on the base pass at first, number 5 out of Bakersfield, California. Got the start yesterday, had 2 at-bats, 1 strikeout as that ball, first ball swinging is Krause, is a fly ball into shallow right field. Backing up, it's a second baseman, Cesaro. He will make the catch for the first out of the inning, and Dodge will remain at first base. So now Krause retired on just 1 pitch, and stepping into the dish will be Evan Fromweiler out of Ohio University. 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout, grounded out to second base, and reached on an error. Back in the 5th inning, would be stranded at second. Here comes the first pitch into him, and it will be a called strike. 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Dodge is going, pitches in the dirt, and there will be no throw. Dodge will easily cruise into second base with the stolen base. So the pinch runner comes in and swipes second. Now the Settlers have a runner in scoring position with just 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So now Kaiser will deal the 1-1, and not sure where that one missed. It looked to be a little bit high,
Yeah,
just
breaking ball
above the letters.
right there, just above the letters, just a little bit. Just couldn't get the called strike.
So another breaking ball, 2-1, fouled back into the screen, and they'll be even at 2-2. Fromwiller seemed like he liked that pitch, took a big hack at it, and kind of slapped his bat there a couple times, thinking that was the pitch. Of course, he had 2 hits in the game yesterday, including an RBI, to help the Settlers with a 3-1 victory. And here comes a 2-2 to Fromwiller, and he will cut on and miss strike 3. Second out of the inning now for Kaiser, his second strikeout in just his second inning of work. And now that runner will stay at second base with 2 down here, and Phil Ferranti will come up to the dish. Ferranti 0 for 2 on the ball game, reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning, and then walked and was stranded at third and flew out to center field his last time up. First pitch from Kaiser, called strike 0-1. Now, Ferranti, his last time up, had runners on second and third and hit one into shallow center field, and a great play was made by Nasanti on a diving catch to prevent the runs from coming in to score, as that ball will be hit a mile, but well foul from Ferranti, and he'll be down in the count 0-2. So 0-2, 2 down. Connor Dodge pinch running for Darius Diaz, who reached the base on a walk to lead off the inning. Stands out there with 2 down, 2-2 ball game. Now Dodge looks to take third, and that ball will be fouled off Phil Ferranti in the batter's box. Right off the foot. Dodge was going on the pitch, but Ferranti had to protect with 2 strikes. He fouls that one off himself and trots down, tries to walk it off a little bit. Painful foul ball for Ferranti.
Very
and we'll
painful.
do it again 0-2.
Well, what made it is he sold it. You know, when the ball ever goes out to fair play like that, you think, all right, maybe he hit it fair. But you know, he sold it, kicked it off his leg, and gets a new life.
So here comes the 0-2 pitch. Kaiser gets the sign from the catcher. Gambert comes set. 0-2, 2 down. Bottom 7th inning. Tie ball game pitch taken just below the knees for a ball. 1-2.
It's even a closer pitch than the one that was missed earlier.
So working quick here. Kaiser pitch fouled off by Ferranti, not going away easily, and we'll do it again 1-2. So Kaiser came in last inning, gave up a base hit. That run would come around to score on a base hit from Turner Hill to tie this game up at 2. And now another runner in scoring position. Breaking ball line down the third baseline. Called foul by home plate umpire Andrew Bolden. Foul ball. And we'll do it again 1-2. That one real close. Looked like it might have hooked over the bag, but called foul by the home plate umpire Bolden.
But what really helped right there was that the ball hit the dirt left of the foul line. You know, it wasn't in the grass where you're not sure, all right, did it kick up dirt? Did it do whatever?
Now 1-2 pitch from Kaiser. Ferranti will foul another one off. Not going down easy in this at-bat late in this ball game.
So that one foul ball just, it was visible right there. Home plate umpire Andrew Bolden was able to see it, call correctly. Good position.
Yep, the Settlers just inches away from taking the lead in this one, as that one surely would have rolled for a while. As Hurd playing a little bit off the left field line. Here comes a pitch, roped into left field. Hurd comes charging in. He will make the catch, and disaster averted there for the Copperheads, as that ball was stung at the left fielder Hurd, but he comes charging in to make the catch, and we will stay tied here at 2-2. So after a leadoff walk, the Copperheads are able to strand him and retire the next 3 hitters to head into the top of the 8th inning, still tied at 2 here at Don Edwards Park. You're listening to Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network. Bottom of the order due up here for the Copperheads in the top of the 8th inning. But I'm going to throw it over to Connor Mills to give us an update on some of the other GLSCL teams in the Southern Division playing right now.
Well, the Xenia Scouts are currently trailing the Richmond Jazz by a score of 5-4. That game is in the bottom of the 6th inning. Standings right now in the South Division: Licking County Settlers, Xenia Scouts, and the Hamilton Joes all won one game, and then the Copperheads, Jazz, and Cincinnati Steam all lost a game yesterday. But the other game that's going on right now in the Southern Division of the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League is between the Hamilton Joes and the Cincinnati Steam, and boy, that one's a blowout right now. Hamilton Joes putting up a 10 spot in the bottom of the 5th, leading 14-1.
Well, you always take a 10-run inning, that's for sure. The Joes will look for their 2nd consecutive victory to start off this season. And stepping into the dish, Zach Iverson. 0 for 2 on the day with a walk, a strikeout, and a fly out to center field as Iverson swings on the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. As Dawson Sims remains out on the mound for the Settlers, going into his 3rd inning now. As Sims will come set, here comes the 0-1 to Iverson, and Iverson will take that one for a strike, 0-2. Now Iverson, the first game he's playing in this season, did not play in the opener. Back in the 2nd inning, he drew a walk and would come around to score on a Jared Hurd walk as he got the RBI. The Copperheads jumped out to a 2-0 lead, but the Settlers have battled back to even it up at 2 here in the top of the 8th inning. As the 0-2 to Iverson taken outside for a ball, 1-2. Right now the Settlers out hitting the Copperheads 7-6 so far in this one, but we remain tied on the scoreboard. As the breaking ball will be taken outside on the 1-2 pitch for a ball, 2-2 to Iverson. As Sims trying to get Iverson to chase something there, but nice job laying off.
Yeah, close pitch, just better eyes by Iverson.
2-2 by Sims. Iverson kind of checks his swing, but it will bounce out towards the shortstop. So Bazik fires on the first. Close play, not in time. And Iverson will have his first hit on the year for the Copperheads on an infield single. Kind of an excuse-me swing there, but it bounces out to the shortstop, Sabazic, and he had to charge in, and Iverson was booking it down the line. He did not get him in time. So the leadoff man will be on for the Copperheads.
Well, it might have been an excuse-me swing, but he didn't tiptoe his way down the line. He was running full speed and had the speed to get there to first. A nice excuse-me swing.
So Iverson out of the left-handed box, able to dig down the line to get there, and now Reese Trahey will step into the box. He's 2 for 3 on the day with 2 base hits in the left field. So you going the opposite way is Trahey today. As here comes a pitch from Sims. Check swing from Trahey. No appeal to the umpire. Called a ball, 1-0. So off of first now is Zach Iverson with his first hit of the season. Sims comes set. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Reese Trahey. Here comes the pitch, and it'll be taken. Took something off that one. It will be called a strike, 1-1.
Those look like a slow slider coming off of Dawson Sims.
Yep, Sims so far shown not been afraid to throw the breaking ball in any situation. As here comes the 1-1 pitch, and that ball will be inside. It gets by the catcher. Ferranti jogging down to second is Iverson, so there'll be a runner in scoring position now with nobody down here in the top of the 8th inning. After that one gets away from the Santee.
Yeah, the wild pitch, just Ferranti could not get it.
So now a 2-1 count to Trahey, excuse me. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, breaking ball taken on the outside corner. Trahey didn't really like the call there, but it will even up the count at 2.
Yeah, breaking ball just hitting the outside corner. Doesn't look like it's going to be a strike until it actually is.
So Sims looking in, trying to prevent the Copperheads, who are threatening to take the lead. 2-2 game here in the top of the 8th. Zach Iverson leads off second after getting an infield base hit to lead off the inning. 2-2 pitch, taken inside and low for a ball, so it will be a full count here to Reese Trahey with nobody down in the top of the 8th. So Sims, looking in, already has 3 strikeouts, and this is 3rd inning of work. Full count now, runner leading off second. And here comes a pitch. Trahey will just get a piece of it and foul it off his foot, it looks like, as he will have to shake that one off and get back in the box again for the next 3-2 pitch.
Well, for the Copperheads, in the season opener, left 13 runners on base. Today, they've left 10 runners on base. So something that they're looking to take advantage of here, especially with the runner in scoring position.
Copperheads looking for that key base hit to regain the lead that they lost. They scored 2 runs in the top of the 2nd inning. Now Trahey will call time, as Sims was looking back at the runner for a long time. Now Sims steps back on the rubber. Trahey back in the left-handed batter's box. Here comes the full count. Pitch now, top of the 8th inning, 2-2. Runner Zach Iverson leading off second. Here comes a payoff pitch, and it'll swing on and miss. Got Trahey on the low heater. And there's now 1 down here in the top of the 8th inning with Nasanti coming up to bat. Actually, Coach Dunphy coming down from the third base box to talk to the home plate umpire, Balden. And it looks like a pinch hitter will come in for the Copperheads. That is number 20, Ben Rushing, who got to start at third base in the game yesterday. So Rushing coming in for Nasanti.
Yeah, Rushing picked up a hit yesterday, found his way on base for 400 right now in the early season, so 2 for 5.
Yep, Rushing out of Weston, Florida, attends the University of Central Florida, heading into his sophomore year. As you mentioned, Connor, he did pick up a base hit in the ball game yesterday, starting at third base. They'll look to get a big base hit out of him here, as Sims will bounce that one in the dirt. It gets away from Ferranti, and now moving up to third is Zach Iverson on the second wild pitch after a leadoff single. So he's on third base with just 1 down. So now if Rushing can drive a ball into the outfield, the Copperheads could regain the lead in this one.
They could, but they have to break the streak first. Too many runners left on base. Haven't had anyone score since the 2nd.
Yep, definitely been an issue in the first 2 games. Not able to get the big hit when they need it. Now the infield drawn in with the runner on third. 1-0 pitch from Sims to Rushing. He will take the off-speed pitch for a strike, 1-1.
And Sims has really been able to bend the curveball right into the strike zone. It doesn't look like it's going to be a strike until it hits the glove of the catcher, Ferranti.
Able to keep the Copperhead hitters off balance, throwing that breaking ball in all kinds of situations as Rushing steps out of the box, calls time, now back in. Sims towing the rubber. He comes set at the belt. Iverson off at third base, and that pitch will run inside and drill Ben Rushing. So Rushing comes on as the pinch hitter, gets plunked, and now the Copperheads will have runners at the corners here for the top of the order. And Thomas Cesaro, who has an RBI early on in the game after getting hit by a pitch. And now Ferranti will walk out to try to calm down Sims after plunking the pinch hitter Rushing.
And it looks like there might be a change also that Austin Dunphy is making. He's talking with the home plate umpire, Balden. And it looks like a pinch runner will come on base.
Ty Krintenberger, number 3, who got the start in center field yesterday, is going on the pinch run for Rushing. So Dunphy not afraid to use the bench in this inning, as Cesaro, the second baseman, digs in here. He is 0 for 3 with an RBI, as I just mentioned, after getting hit by a pitch back in the second inning. Other than that, he is flown out to right field and struck out, one time looking and one time swinging. But he will look to get a big base hit right here for the Copperheads to take the lead in this one. So Sims now back on the rubber. Cesaro ready to go, as now Sims will step off, as him and Ferranti seem to have a bit of a miscommunication on that one. So now Sims comes to set. Here comes the first pitch to Cesaro. Pitch will be taken low and outside in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. As we mentioned early on in the broadcast, Cesaro, one of the 2 returning Copperheads this season, coming back to Athens after winning a championship with the Copperheads just a year ago. First ever in franchise history. Here comes a 1-0 pitch, and that ball goes behind Cesaro. Runner will stay at third, but Krittenberger will move up to second. So now 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 away after that ball is thrown behind Cesaro.
Yeah, thrown behind. It was just a bad pitch. It wasn't anything intentional to try to go after Cesaro. However, the ball was thrown hard enough so that you can't take home plate. The ball just bounced right off the metal fence, the backstop, and just couldn't do anything with it.
So now 2-0 to Cesaro. He's got 2 runners in scoring position. Zach Iverson leads off third. Krittenberger off second. He lines that one into center field. Backing up is center fielder Hill. Coming in to score will be Iverson, and the Copperheads will take a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 8th inning. Nice piece of hitting there by Cesaro. He got a pitch he could drive and does his job for the sac fly RBI, and the Copperheads are back on top, 3-2.
Well, finally someone is able to break through and score a run and come up with a big hit for the Copperheads. Gets in that RBI. That's huge for 2 reasons. One, so the Copperheads don't have to go into extra innings and deplete their already depleted pitching staff. And now, of course, you have the lead.
So Krittenberger did stay at second base on that one, and now it looks like Sims' outing will be over. He will be in line for the loss after that one. He goes 2 2/3 innings, giving up 3 hits and 1 run, now in line for the loss if the Copperheads can hold on to this one. So pitching change here at Don Edwards Park, so we will take a break here and come back. You are listening to Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, brought to you by Ohio Health. Top of the 8th inning here. Runner on second, 2 away. Copperheads just picked up the lead 3-2 over the Settlers after a sac fly from Thomas Cesaro, his second RBI of the game. And coming on to pitch for the Settlers now, their 4th pitcher is number 13, Jake Carpenter. Carpenter out of Dublin, Ohio, plays for Ohio Dominican University, a senior. Made 7 appearances this past year, a 3.38 ERA in 8 innings pitched, 8 hits given up, 4 runs, 3 earned, 7 strikeouts, and give up 1 homer on the season. And standing in to face him will be the lefty left fielder, Jared Hurd. Hurd is 0 for 2 on the ball game, drew a couple of walks in his first 2 at-bats, then popped out in foul territory to the third baseman, then hit an unassisted ground ball to the first baseman his last time up as he'll foul the first pitch from Carpenter away, 0-1. So the inning started with a base hit from Zach Iverson on a check swing to the shortstop. He beat it out. He advanced all the way to third on 2 pass balls. Ben Rushing came in to hit, as here comes the pitch from Carpenter, taken outside for a ball. Ben Rushing came in to hit. He was hit by Sims to put runners on first and third, and then Cesaro driving a sac fly to give the Copperheads a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 8th inning. So 2 away now. And looks like Hurd called time right before Carpenter went to throw that pitch.
Now, I'm not sure if he called. I didn't hear the home plate umpire Baldwin call time. I think he saw the pitcher call time.
The 1-1 pitch from Hurd taken right down the middle for strike 2. Hurd kind of turned around like, man, I should have took a rip at that one, but nevertheless, he's down in the count 1-2.
Yeah, it seemed like, just to go back a pitch, it seemed like Hurd called time. The pitcher saw that he called time, and then because the pitcher stepped off, then the home plate umpire called time.
1-2, Jared Hurd, 2 down. Breaking ball swung on and missed. So Carpenter comes in out of the pen and does his job, retires the one man he faces via the strikeout. But the Copperheads will score the go-ahead run here in the top of the 8th inning on a sac fly from Thomas Cesaro, scoring Zach Iverson, who led the inning off with an infield single. So heading into the bottom of the 8th, the Copperheads hold a 3-2 lead over the Settlers. You are listening to Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, brought to you by Ohio Health. Copperheads clinging to a 1-run lead late in the bottom of the 8th inning after scoring on a sac fly from Thomas Cesaro, plated Zach Iverson. And they hold on to a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nick Kaiser still out there on the mound. Now in for his 3rd inning of work. He took over in the 6th after the first 5 innings were thrown by Jake Hansen, as he only gave up 1 run in 5 innings of work. And here comes a pitch to Nate Meyer for a ball, 1-0. But Kaiser took over in the 6th inning, gave up a run, and that will take high and inside for a ball, 2-0. Gave up a run in the 6th and then came back in the 7th and kept the Settlers from scoring. Copperheads able to take the lead in the top of the 8th. So here comes a 2-0 pitch from Kaiser. Ball will be popped up into the infield. Looks like Zion Avery has a beat on it. He will range over to make the catch easily. And the leadoff man is retired here for the Settlers in the bottom half of the 8th. That will bring in the left fielder batting 8th, Jarrett Folks. Folks is 0 for 2 on the game with a line out to the shortstop, a sac bunt back in the 4th inning, and then struck out his last time up, as Kaiser will fire that one in there for a called strike. The Settlers were down 2-0 early on in this game, as squaring the bunt is Folks, and that ball will stay fair. That's a perfectly placed bunt. Iverson comes charging in, but there's no play to be made. Folks hustles down the line and reaches safely on the bunt, so he will be credited a single, the first hit for Folks on the season, and the Settlers have a runner on with one away here in the bottom of the 8th. So stepping in now, the lefty, Turner Hill. Hill has one at-bat in this game. He pinch hit for Alec Taylor, as that pitch will be taken for a ball. But pinch hit for Taylor back in the 6th inning, then drove in the second run of the game for the Settlers to knot up the game at 2 with a base hit in the left field. Was thrown out at second, trying to stretch it into a double. And here comes the pitch, and Turner Hill turns that one around. It's crushed. Backing up is the right fielder, Trahey. He will make the catch. Heading back to first is Folks. So Hill hits that one on the button, but Trahey's able to get back and make the catch, and they're now 2 away in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, that was a long out off the bat of Turner Hill, but it is an out. And the Copperheads get closer and closer to ending this game with their first win of the 2019 season.
So now stepping in is Sabazic, the shortstop. Had a couple of base hits in his first 2 at-bats. Has also grounded out to second, as checking the runner Folks real quick. He's back in safely, but grounded to second in his 3rd at-bat, then reached base on an error back in the 6th inning. So 2 for 4 in his first game on the season for the Settlers. Kaiser will deal the 0-0 pitch, and it'll be a called strike. Breaking ball snaps in the zone, 0-1. So 2 down, runner on first. Copperheads hold a 3-2 lead. Here comes a pitch in to Sabazic. Pitch will be taken low for a ball, 1-1. So Kaiser comes set, gets the sign from his catcher. Runner going. Gambert fires it down to second. Tag. Got him. Jarrett Folks tried to swipe second to get into scoring position with 2 down, but Gambert came up throwing through it on a dart to the shortstop. Glassery makes the tag in time for the final out of the inning. So we will head into the top of the 9th inning. So no runs, 1 hit, nobody left on for the Settlers as we head into the top of the 9th. Copperheads holding a 3-2 lead, looking for their first win in the Austin Dunfree era. So we head into the top of the 9th inning. You are listening to Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Only 1 inning left to go here at Don Edwards Park, as the heart of the Copperheads order due up here for the 9th inning. Chris Gambert, Zion Avery, and Sebastian Fabic. Copperheads hold a 3-2 lead over the Licking County Settlers. Still on the mound is Jake Carpenter after recording 1 out via the strikeout. In the last game, he'll look to hold this deficit where it is for the bottom of the 9th to give his team a shot to tie it up, as Gambert will roll over that one down the third base line, but it'll be touched foul by third baseman Fromwiller, 0-1. Gambert 0 for 4 on the day, 3 strikeouts, as well as a line out to left field. Looking to pick up his first base hit of the season, as he threw out a runner to end the bottom of the 8th inning from behind the plate.
I think that's what I've been most impressed with, just from the Copperheads overall. Both catchers now have caught a couple base runners stealing.
And a breaking ball will be lined up the middle, getting past the glove of Sabasic. Gambert will have a base hit into center field, his first hit on the season. And yet again, the Copperheads have a leadoff man on here in this ball game, as Gambert will be on first for Zion Avery.
Well, finally, the man we've been talking about a lot, Chris Gambert, gets the first hit.
And it's funny because that was probably the softest hit ball we've seen him hit so far this season, but that's the one that falls in for a hit.
It probably has been.
But that's how the game works sometimes. As Zion Avery, another Copperhead who picked up his first hit earlier on in the ball game back in the 5th inning, will take the pitch from Carpenter for a strike, 0-1. But Avery, 1 for 3 on the day. Had the base hit into right field we mentioned earlier, as well as 2 strikeouts, and was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd inning. And right on cue, he'll get hit by another breaking ball there, and now the Copperheads will have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the top of the 9th, looking to extend this 1-run lead. And now TJ Wharton will walk out and talking to the home plate umpire, Balden. Not sure what exactly he's arguing here after the hit by pitch.
What I think that he's arguing is that Zion Avery just didn't really make an attempt to get out of the way of the ball, and therefore trying to, you got to make an attempt, and they will say he did, so he'll get awarded first base.
Well, Warden says his piece to the home plate umpire, Balden, but just walks back into the dugout now, and Sebastian Fabic will come up.
Because it looked like Robert Baylock, the field umpire, tapped to his chest, or tapped to his shoulder, and it appeared that's where it might have hit him. It's tough to move out of the way on that.
Right. Second time Avery's been plunked in this one. So here comes the 0-0 pitch in the dirt. Nice block there from Ferranti. 1-0 to Fabic, the DH. Now Fabic has a couple of base hits in this one. He had an infield single back in the 2nd, and then had a line drive into right field a couple innings ago. He'll take that one upstairs for a ball, 2-0. Now Fabic has reached base in all but 2 of his at-bats on the young season. As the Copperheads look to add on a couple insurance runs, holding a 3-2 lead in the top of the 9th. Fabic will get under that one. Ferranti will come back to the screen, but it runs out of room and it goes over for a foul ball, and the count will be 2-1.
That was a big pop-up right there, and hung in the air for a little while, and lucky for Sebastian Fabic that it did go out of play.
Just got over the backstop here at Don Edwards Park, as Fabic got way under that one. But will luckily get another chance here with a 2-1 count. Runners on first and second. Gambert had a base hit up the middle to start the inning, and then Avery hit by a pitch. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Fabic, and he drives that one a long way out into left field, ranging over, and it is off the wall. Both runners had to wait to see. Gambert is being sent to score. He will come in. Avery pulls into third. Fabic into second with an RBI double. And just like that, the Copperheads extend their lead to 4-2. A ball that looked like he got under a little bit, but just kept going all the way back to the wall, and the center fielder Hill couldn't make a play on it. And Fabic will have his first RBI on the season.
Well, we might have needed some binoculars to see how far he hit that ball, one of the longest distances in the park. But just, he crushed it. He crushed it out into left center field. The first extra base hit from a Copperhead this season. And now the Copperheads extend the lead.
So Fabic will have his third hit of the ball game, now 3 for 4. And as I just mentioned, his first RBI on the season. But most importantly, the Copperheads still have runners on second and third with no one down here trying to push out this lead. as they now lead it 4-2 over the Settlers in the top of the ninth inning here. And the first pitch to Philip Glasser is taken for a ball 1-0. And the 1-0, Glasser will foul it down the first base line. Even up the count at 1. Infield drawn in with runners on second and third and nobody down. But a big at-bat there from Fabic, extending this Copperheads lead. One pitch, nobody down here in the top of the ninth inning. Ball taken low by Glasser. 2-1 count. Glasser 0 for 3 on the day. He had a sac bunt back in the second inning, followed by a ground out to the shortstop, a strikeout, and a fly ball to center field. As now Glasser will hit that one a decent ways down the third base foul line. And now even up the count at 2. Now Fabic just picked up the first extra base hit for the Copperheads this season. The big hit that they were looking for these past 2 games, they finally get it. Here comes a 2-2 to Glasser. Now he'll hit a fly ball towards left center field. Hill will call off the left fielder. Tagging is Zion Avery. He will come in to score. Standing throw cut off by Sabazic. And it will be an RBI sac fly for Glasser, his second RBI on the season. And the Copperheads push their lead out to 5-2 now.
Well, we've been talking about trying to get the big hit at the right time and just timely hitting. And finally, the Copperheads are doing that in practice down at the fields.
So staying at second base will be Fabic. Now just 1 away with a runner on second standing in Zach Iverson. He had a base hit his last time up. Came around to score the run that put the Copperheads in front as that ball is way outside in the dirt for a ball 1-0. Ferranti had to block it, keeping Fabic at second. Now he's going to come out to the mound to try to calm down Jake Carpenter, who's been touched up a bit in this inning.
Well, I also noticed looking to my left, the coach for Licking County Settlers tipped his cap. He's trying to get somebody ready in the bullpen, and the catcher might have just tried to buy some time. T.J. Wharton takes a slow walk out to the mound.
Yep, some stirring out there in the bullpen.
Looks like some
Settlers
scurrying. Not just stirring, he's coming out scurrying.
Yep. Actually, Wharton is going to pull Carpenter. So the Copperheads come into this inning with a 3-2 lead, and they add on 2 more runs, a base hit from Chris Gambert up the middle, followed by a hit by pitch. Then Sebastian Fabic doubles to score 1, a sac fly from Phil Glasser to score another, and the Copperheads find themselves up 5-2 with a runner on second base here in the top of the ninth, still threatening with just 1 away as they look to continue to extend this lead here against the Settlers and come ever so closer to the first win of the 2019 season. So we're going to go to a break for the pitching change. You are listening to Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health. Commerce logo, and be sure to support the business that support the Athens Sandlot, our very own Copperheads, and our community. Love Athens. Keep it local, because together we make a difference.
The fun is just beginning in Athens, Ohio. Outdoor concerts and festivals, rails and trails.
Back here in the top of the ninth inning at Don Edwards Park, Copperheads holding a 5-2 lead over the Settlers after dropping the first game of the season to them yesterday, 3-1. In the pitch is number 16, the southpaw Michael Osmond from Powell, Ohio. Attends Wittenberg University. And the pitch will come into another lefty, Zach Iverson, will be taken inside for a ball. 2-0. As Carpenter not in line for the loss because he did not give up the third run. But the Copperheads are able to extend their lead, adding on 2 runs so far in the inning, and still have Sebastian Fabic out on second base with just 1 away in the top of the ninth. Now Fabic will take third. No throw. Smart base running there from Fabic. Realizing Osmond had the slow leg kick, and he easily steals third base to move up to third with just 1 away.
Yeah, just a great, smart baseball play.
So now it's a 3-0 count as the pitch was called ball. Infield in again for the Settlers, and Iverson will take that pitch just outside for a ball. So the pitch from Osmond will be ball 4. He throws 3 pitches to this batter and walks him. So now Iverson is down at first base. So now runners at the corners with 1 away, and stepping in is Reese Trahey. Trey has a couple of base hits, 2 for 4 in the ball game. Was stranded at third both times he got on base. But again, with less than 2 outs in the inning, Copperheads have runners in scoring position with a chance to extend this 5-2 lead. There comes a pitch from Osmond. Trahey will hit a ground ball to third, throwing home to try to get Fabic, and Fromwiller sails the throw over the catcher's head. Fabic will score easily. So on the fielder's choice and an errant throw from Fromwiller, another run will come across, and it is now 6-2 Copperheads in the top of the ninth inning.
Well, now the runs just keep on piling in for the Copperheads. After struggling for the past couple at-bats, past 2 days, they finally had things click here in the top of the ninth.
So Trahey will reach on the fielder's choice. Fromwiller obviously trying to keep the deficit at where it was, but maybe he should have just took the easy play at first, as the first pitch in to Ty Krittenberger will be a called strike. Krittenberger was a pinch runner for Ben Rushing back in the 8th inning. As the 0-1 will be taken on the outside corner for a strike, quickly down 0-2. So runners on first and second, still 1 away. Copperheads scoring 3 so far in the ninth to have a 6-2 lead. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Krittenberger. He will swing on it and miss. First strikeout for Osmond on the third batter he faces. And now we'll go back to the top of the order, and Thomas Cesaro, who drove in the leading run last inning, will get a chance to hit with 2 runners on base and 2 away in the top of the ninth. So Cesaro is 0 for 3, but does have 2 RBIs in the game. As the pitch from Osmond is taken outside for a ball, 1-0. This inning all started with a single up the middle from Chris Gambert. Zion Avery was then hit by a pitch, as that pitch is taken outside for a ball, 2-0. After Avery was hit by the pitch, Sebastian Fabic drove one out to the left center field wall for a double, scoring 1 run, and then another run came across on a sac fly. And then the third run of the inning coming in on the throwing error from Fromwiller, and the Copperheads find themselves up 6-2. As Cesaro takes a big cut at that 2-0 pitch and fouls it back into the screen, 2-1. So the game was tied at 2 heading into the top of the 8th inning, but the Settlers bullpen falters, and the Copperheads are able to take advantage of that with a 6-2 lead. And here comes the pitch to Cesaro. It will be a called strike on the inside corner, 2-2. So a 2-2 count, 2 down. 2 runners on, top of the 9th inning. Here comes Osmond's 2-2 delivery to Cesaro. Cesaro will cut on it and miss for the final out, but the Copperheads add 3 more runs to push their 1-run lead out to 4, as they will now head into the bottom of the 9th inning with some breathing room for whoever takes the mound. The Copperheads plate 3 here in the top of the 9th, have a 6-2 lead over the Settlers, looking for the first win on the young 2019 season as we head into the bottom of the 9th. You are listening to Copperheads Baseball on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio Health.
Funky vibe of uptown Athens and Court Street, Ohio's most eccentric half-mile. The best road trip starts at AthensOhio.com, the region's most comprehensive site for maps, shopping and dining directories, and events calendar. Visit AthensOhio.com and start planning your next adventure.
Classic brands Budweiser and Yuengling are proud supporters of Copperheads Baseball. Please drink responsibly and always use a designated driver. Responsibility matters.
Donato's is the exclusive pizza provider of the Southern Ohio Copperheads. With toppings loaded from edge to edge, Donato's Pizza will be sure to satisfy your hunger. Located at 688 East State Street in Athens, make Donato's your pizza of choice today. Order by calling 740-592-5049 or order online at donatos.com.
The Southern Ohio Copperheads would like to show our support for Echoing Hills. Echoing Hills provides individuals a place to call home in a comfortable and safe environment where they can achieve their dreams surrounded by supportive friends and staff. For more information, contact them at 740-594-3541.
Ball Green Mortine, one of the nation's leading integrated marketing and communication firms, prides itself on hiring the best and brightest graduates from across the country each year. In fact, the company is home to many Ohio University alumni. For more details on internships and employment opportunities, visit www.ballgreenmortine.com.
You will
Hi, this is Thomas Cesaro from Lee University, and you're listening to Copperheads on the Copperheads Media Network.
The bottom of the 9th inning here. Copperheads closing in on the first victory of the young 2019 season as they hold a 6-2 lead and coming in to finish out the 9th inning, moving from second base to pitcher. We mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, how he pitched a little bit at Lee University this year. Thomas Cesaro takes the mound. Moving over to second base is Philip Glasser, and taking over at shortstop will be Erickson, who played in the ball game yesterday.
Yeah, Jacob Erickson, sure hands over at shortstop. Did have one error, but looks solid from what we saw.
First pitch from Cesaro taken outside for a ball to the leadoff hitter, Sabazic, 1-0. But Cesaro, as a pitcher this past year, started in 6 games for Lee University with a 2-4 record, had a 4.64 ERA and 42 2/3 innings pitched. He fires that one on the outside corner for a strike to even up the count at 1. But as we've mentioned earlier on the broadcast, this thin pitching rotation that the Copperheads currently have as the 1-1 pitch taken low for a ball, 2-1. So it's big for guys like Cesaro to be able to play in the field and then come in to the ball game later on to finish it out for him, as the 2-1 pitch fired right down the middle for a strike, 2-2.
Well, not only can Cesaro pitch, Zach Iverson can also throw a little bit as well. So a lot of position players who can play both ways,
which is very big. Every position you can play. Is a little breaking ball there from Cesaro taken inside, and Sabazic will run the count full, 3-2. Sabazic picked up 2 base hits in his first 2 at-bats. As the payoff pitch will be grounded to Erickson. He gets action right away, fires on the first, and the throw gets away from Zion Avery. And Sabazic will be safe. And the ball does go out of play, it appears. Actually, umpires now conversing over in the first base foul line to discuss if that ball went out of play. Nonetheless, on the throwing error from Erickson, Sabazic will be safe at first base, and the leadoff runner for the Settlers will reach.
Always tough to come in just kind of cold-handed. You've been sitting on the bench for a little bit, and then the first shot you get, is just the throw is a little offline.
Now the second error in as many games for Erickson, as he made one in the game yesterday as well. So they're going to rule the ball not out of play, so Sabazic will stay at first base. Now Austin Moody, the right fielder, will step into the dish with a runner on first, and nobody down here in the bottom of the ninth inning with the Copperheads leading the Settlers 6-2. Looking to pick up their first win on the season. Here comes a pitch from Cesaro. It is a called strike, 0-1. Now Moody has one hit on the day in 4 at-bats, as that pitch will be a called strike, and Moody will find himself down in the count 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Cesaro, and that ball will be hit a long way foul down the first baseline, and we'll do it all over again, 0-2. So now Cesaro toes the rubber. Sabazic leads off first base after reaching on an error. Big lead from Sabazic. He takes off. Pitch swung on a miss. Throw down to second, not in time. So unable to complete the strike him out, throw him out double play, but most importantly, the Copperheads get their first out of the inning as Sabazic picks up his first stolen base on the year. So there'll be a runner on second with one away in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, it's big, and right now, not to hurt his feelings or anything, but Sabazic, he doesn't matter over there on second base. We Copperheads do not care about Sabazic whatsoever. If he scores, it doesn't matter.
Right, absolutely. So Connor Dodge will now dig in after pinch running for Darius Diaz earlier in the game, as the first pitch he sees is taken for a ball. Second pitch in the dirt for ball 2, 2-0 now to Connor Dodge. Yep, Dodge came in to pinch run for Diaz, stole a base, but was left stranded at second. And that pitch is caught on a miss. 2-1. Actually, correction, we just got the update up here in the box that it's Nate Stone, the left-hander, up at the dish, not Connor Dodge. So here comes the 2-1 pitch to Stone, as he will foul that one off, and the count is now 2-2. Stone started in the game yesterday, went 0 for 4, did come around to score a run, but also struck out. So now the 2-2 to Stone. Here comes a pitch, and Stone will hit a fly ball into left field. Charging in is Jared Hurd running. He dives, and he makes a sliding catch out in shallow left field. Nice play there from Hurd as he came hustling in as he was playing off the line. And that is now the second out of the inning, and the Copperheads are just one out away from picking up the first victory of the season.
Well, just tremendous plays from Hurd and Nasanti out in the outfield. This team looks very solid defensively. Yeah, you had a couple errors here and there, 3 errors on the season, but, 2 coming in, and then looks like 4 out on the scoreboard. So I mean, maybe it might be more than a couple errors. But you know what? They've been solid defensively in the outfield. You can't knock them for that.
So now the cleanup hitter, Steven Krause, will try to keep this game alive for the Sellers. The first pitch to him was taken for a ball, and now the next one he swings on and it misses. 1-1 count. Kazimir Sabazic stands out there on second base after reaching on an error. So here comes the pitch taken for strike 2, and now the Copperheads are 1 strike away from picking up their first win of this young 2019 season, as Cesaro has Krause down in the count 1-2. Here comes a pitch from Cesaro, lined into left field, and that will fall in for a base hit. Coming around to score is Sabazic. Krause will turn and head for second. The ball reaches the wall out in right field. Krause will pull in easily with an RBI double. So the Settlers not dead yet. They reduced the lead to 6-3 on the RBI double from Steven Krause.
Yeah, nice, real nice piece of hitting from Krause. You know, taking it out into right field. placed it perfectly in between the white lines and was able to get the run to come in.
Yep, Kraus snuck that one down the right field line to pick up an RBI. Now coming into the dish will be Evan Fromwiller. As it's now a 6-3 ball game as Cesaro's pitch taken upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Now Fromwiller's had a tough day at the plate after a 2-hit day yesterday, going 0 for 4 as the next pitch is taken just outside for a ball, 2-0. Cesaro wanted that one. You see him glaring at the umpire a little bit after that pitch. But 6-3 ball game, 2 down in the ninth inning, 2-0 count here to Fromwiller. Here comes the pitch, and that one will hit the outside part of the plate for a strike, 2-1. So now here comes a 2-1 pitch from Cesaro, and Fromwiller will hit that one down the first base foul line and will get way out of play over towards the tree down in the first base foul line, and now it is a 2-2 count with 2 away in the bottom of the ninth inning. Copperheads lead at 6-3 over the Settlers. So Steven Kraus leads off second. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He got him on the fastball, strike 3. And Austin Dunphy will pick up his first win as the manager of the Southern Ohio Copperheads. The Copperheads pick up their first win of the 2019 season. And with the win, they set up a rubber match with the Settlers tomorrow. And they are now 1-1 on the young season. Connor Mills, give me a recap of tonight's ball game.
Well, just timely hitting from the Copperheads. You know, Southern Ohio Copperheads taking advantage of a big ninth inning, and they were able just to score their runs. You know, it helped out a little bit, got on base through a couple walks, threw a couple hits in there, hit by pitch. You know, eventually they were going to have to, you know, get all those men who they've been leaving left on base in to score, and they were able to do that today.
So starting the game for the Copperheads was Jake Hansen. He goes 5 innings, giving up 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. Does not get the win, striking out 3. Nick Kaiser then came on and pitched 3 strong innings for the Copperheads, giving up 1 run, but is able to pick up his first victory on the season. And Cesaro, after giving up the run, will get a save since it was a 3-run victory for the Copperheads. Getting dubbed with the loss will be Dawson Sims for the Settlers. His first loss on the season. He pitched 2 2/3 innings, only allowing 1 run, striking out 4, but it was enough to tab him with the loss. And the Copperheads are now 1-1 on the young season. And once again, the first win for manager Austin Dunphy as the manager of the Copperheads. Got to be a special moment for him.
Well, a team that he used to play for, now he gets to come back and coach, gets his first win. It's early in the season. He's looking forward to a lot more.
And with that, we have reached the end of our broadcast. We have a rubber match now tomorrow with the Settlers at 7 o'clock right back here at Don Edwards Park, as the Copperheads will look to take 2 of 3 from the Settlers tomorrow. Thank you for listening to tonight's broadcast. For Connor Mills, I am Joey Medore signing off. Thank you for listening on the Copperheads Media Network, presented by Ohio